Clink. Clink, clink, clink. Clink. And we're waiting. We're waiting. Waiting. Still waiting. Cha-ching.
There you go.
There we go. I can't see if anybody's out there. Is there anybody out there? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Is there anybody out there? Pepper leak. Leaky, leaky, leak. I'm a little messy. I don't even know if Sai's gonna make it today. That sounds like fun. What? Really?
Still like need to refresh it.
Just did.
Yeah, there it goes.
Yeah.
Huh?
Human. Human. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if so normally he's normally doing spotted on G Plus in a while. Tony as well. If they're around.
Yeah. Mhm. Now the oven should be hot.
Hot? For what?
The chicken.
Oh,
The
you're
chicken's
doing it
going in
there?
that one.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, we can see it perfectly.
I don't know if the microphone picked up me being creepy back here, but
No.
oh, that's a shame.
We're gonna stage everything
Mind it.
here and then bring stuff
Our
stage everything here. So that
us being late today is entirely my fault.
That's great.
as we
No,
need
it's
each
not.
item, we can bring them in because otherwise we're taking up huge amounts of counter space.
Okay. There's just
Or
a
we
few
can
things
put-
that have to go in the fridge.
Yeah, we can put stuff in the fridge.
Well,
And we're live.
hi. Hello, everyone. It is entirely my fault that we're late today. I just
enormous fish.
Holy moly.
forgot something and had to go to the store at the last minute.
I once had a fish this big. I wonder where that fish did go.
Well, now we're all gonna have enough fish.
For sure.
So you can find a pan big enough to cook it in.
You're gonna move the spices.
Well, I'll help you move anything you need to move. This is the work in progress spiced wine.
Does it need to go in the fridge or?
It doesn't
Not
matter.
particularly.
Because she's gonna make it almost
gonna-
first, so
Okay.
so we can put it anywhere. It can even go with your glasses over there
Yeah.
with the wine and everything. This is just sorry, chicken broth.
Vegetables.
I guess you already had some, so I probably didn't bring it, but
Huh? Oh, that's from Dixie.
There we go. And there's 3 more
but I
kinds
just
of
wanted
beer.
to make sure that we had some for the things that call for broth.
The boost laughing, otherwise we'll crack our teeth.
What?
The boost laughing.
Oh, I
yeah.
already started soaking it.
Yeah.
I started it an hour ago.
There's
Can I put it in the fridge?
Sure. If there's room for them.
we could use the broth for wait. Oh crap. That's in the car. You wanna run out and grab that?
What the?
Okay.
I stuck it into my laptop bag.
Oh,
I have a
Hershey's apple.
special surprise for you because we're late.
Oh, okay.
I'll get it.
That bread is spectacular.
That's
That
nice
is
bread.
perfect when you're having beer or wine because it's salty and it just, it's like that
Oh, yeah.
craving. It's like a pub snack. Perfect.
I didn't know if anyone was
Ah.
going to be wearing costumes today.
Hi, Sai.
Other side.
Hi, Sai. I didn't know if anyone was going to be wearing costumes today. I looked up what we would be
Oh.
wearing, but I really could not come up with
We'll
anything
be
that would be
doing more
appropriate.
Roman shows in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I was going to say, like, your kilt is probably the closest to anything
Yeah.
that any of us own.
Yeah.
Because I'd be wearing some kind of like pleated white
Yeah. Our senators.
tunic and
Yeah.
like and a white toga with a broad purple band.
Yeah. That was the Senate, wasn't it?
Strategos
This is
means it means it means someone who is a who is a
Military.
a military general and a strategic advisor to someone in authority.
And the Senate had red, didn't they? Red stripe.
Yeah, the Senate wore red.
here's for when Hershey gets obstreperous.
What is it?
It's a piece of apple.
Yes,
You're going to get something.
I have friends in high places. I managed to get that for you.
Ooh.
One of the best beers ever made.
Nice. Yeah.
gorgeous.
And there's a
Hmm.
and I got a Moscato, a different Moscato than last time.
Yeah.
But because Romans preferred like sweeter white wines, I thought that would be
Yeah.
a good one to cook with, and then if we wanted to taste it as well and see what we thought of it.
Yeah.
Apparently the Gauls used to drink the red wine.
Well, the poor people of the city who were rich enough to afford wine
The plebs.
got the red wine from Marseille.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I really wanted to get a hold of a Mamba because we were firmly in the territory
Mm-hmm.
of the time period when hops were almost not being used at all in terms of bittering beer.
Yeah.
Um,
Mamba definitely fits that.
but we don't have it on tap right now, and we couldn't get out to Eugene, so we'll talk about other stuff. We'll
Where's
talk
it
about
from?
wine. The Mamba?
Free and winter ale.
Oh, the Freem Winter Ale.
I've
Freem.
had free and beers, not the winter ale.
Oh, I
Their beers are really
I
good.
love all their beers, but
Freem is from here in Oregon, Ty.
Freem is in
And
Portland.
Portland, I think. Yeah.
Portland?
Yeah, Portland. I
yeah,
think.
Portland.
I mean, we can look it up, make sure that we're not telling a lie.
Portland sounds right.
All right, I've never worked with turnips before, so I had to look up how to do this.
Oh yeah.
But I think I better start prepping them first, just because I think.
Well, let me do the
Boil them
I'm gonna
so they're soft.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the chicken first. Because that goes into the small oven for a whole hour.
Oh yes, actually, the chicken will be the longest, because the turnips won't take that long, but the fish won't take long at all, which is why I wanted to make, and neither will the mushrooms. So I just want to make sure that. What do we want to do? As long as we're having
Sure.
fun, right?
Yeah. This calls for red wine, but
We're taking this too
all I
seriously.
could get was Zinfandel. But it has a
I
reddish color.
And
I
it's
would
cheap
have brought you red wine.
and sweet.
Oh, that's okay. This is the Parthian chicken is, supposedly from ancient Rome.
Mhm. I looked at that recipe. I actually did. I was one of the recipes I
Yeah.
strongly considered using. Doesn't it call for Lazar?
It does, but I don't have it.
Oh, I'll make it real quick.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, maybe we should do her laser first.
Let me find my
Is it pronounced laser?
Laser or Lazar?
Lazar.
Lazar.
Everything is
Lazar.
I didn't know the Romans had lasers. Wow. They were
Lasers.
really advanced.
everything is Romans romantic syllables. Lazar.
All
It's,
roads lead to lasers.
So
All roads lead to Lazar.
the Romans really loved this root, this plant that you could use
To hang
both.
on.
the
Hang on. Wait, let Chase start.
Okay.
Just to be good to get them.
I'm gonna.
Oh, you want to get this on here? Well, let me get all the stuff together first,
Yeah.
and then we'll start it.
Yeah.
I need allspice, parsley.
You want me to put the Chardonnay in the fridge? Do you need it cold?
I don't think it matters.
Actually, yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, she says yes.
Yes, ma'am.
This is parsley, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's parsley.
Carly? Yes. that's
Yes,
part-
I need garlic. Yes, I need allspice, parsley, the mint.
Mint. Minty.
Can we use this chopping board?
You can.
All right, good. I'll just move this over.
Minty,
here.
mint.
Mint. Excellent. It's dried mint, and because we actually did dry it for this special occasion.
You may have to strip it off the stalk.
I will. Garlic, honey, vinegar, and chicken broth. That's why I brought chicken broth. But if you want to use some of your stuff from Thanksgiving, we can use that.
Oh
instead.
no. I don't even. Honey. Oh, you said allspice, right?
I think we brought our own allspice, didn't we?
32?
Yeah, but there's not very much. It should be in that plastic bag.
Okay.
We have tons of awesome.
Yeah, we have tons. Well, I think it's right.
Oh, perfect. And it's already ground, which will make it much easier to make this with. Okay, so it'll be better.
Oh, I brought the ground stuff.
Yeah, you brought the whole stuff and the ground stuff, didn't you?
I didn't know we had
That's one of my favorite beers of all time.
It's so good.
Mm-hmm. The Flanders.
Delicious. My mint is naturally dry. Yeah, that happens. All right, so let me chop up some stuff real quick.
Okay.
And then
Right. That was a message retracted from
Burning Beard, because it doesn't fit YouTube's allowed.
That's weird.
YouTube will do that because we've rated our channel for the cooking shows. We've
Yeah.
rated it not adult, so
what did you say?
there's a message retracted.
Oh,
It could
Could
be
be
that when
plenty.
it could be that when somebody swears or something that.
There's nothing I can do about it.
No, because we rated the channel. We rated the channel for everyone for the cooking shows.
Yeah. No, I can't do anything with it. Weird. Apparently not, no.
apparently you can't. Well, I'll have to be careful. All right, anything else I need to chop up? Okay, garlic.
Garlic, fresh garlic.
That's fine. Any kind of garlic is fine.
Well, I mean, we have the jarred
I'm
stuff.
actually going to explain it when we start cooking, because we're not using, because garlic isn't what this actually calls for.
What does it usually call for?
Well, it calls for something called silphium, which
Silphium. That sounds like an aphrodisiac for fairies.
it does. That's what it is too. That's why the Romans loved it so much.
I threw some silphium on the ground and a fairy came and took me away.
Which is also known as lazaratum by the Romans.
Which sounds positively phallic.
Yes.
That's all right.
Lazaratum. Yeah, and they so they loved this so much. They would use both the I will explain this. I will wait and explain this on the air, but they loved it so much that they completely eradicated it. It is extinct. It does not exist anymore.
That's really sad.
You can't get it, even if you there are a few things that we're changing and omitting because we couldn't get a hold of them in time. We can't get a hold of this at all because it doesn't exist. It was actually they made it extinct around the 4th century.
something to drink. Take my phone.
You want to move the branches?
I'm not going to get in the way of it.
No, she's not.
I'm not filming. I'm just talking to
People.
our audience. I'm just babbling. I just like interacting with the
You got
expletive.
Sorceress Zero and
You've got good insights. Exceptionally good insights.
Sorry, that's actually a really, really good way to do your mint at the end of the season. Is just wait for it to die off and then pluck it right off the plant.
He forgot to water it.
Yeah, he forgot to water it. He said it's naturally dry because he forgot to water it. Done with the parsley, or you need more?
I am done with the parsley. I probably won't even use that much. Do you have like a mortar and pestle or anything? Well, otherwise, we'll probably
Do
just.
not have a mortar and pestle.
Well, we should probably use like a small blender then.
Well, we do have an hour blender.
Yeah, I think that will do because we're just trying to get this to the
It'll be
consistency.
faster too.
We're just trying to get this to a consistency of a paste, so it will be fast.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
oh, that's not
just
good at
happened?
all.
There's the power
That's the power.
fluctuating. It's grand. We'll have to keep going for as long as we can.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're at the end of the line, so we get all the bad stuff that happens.
Oh no.
We love you all, and we'll be
Fingers,
here.
fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get out of your way and just watch you guys for a bit.
Okay, so
Today's gonna be my kind of out of the way day because I
Now
don't
let's
really have the voice
so-
for.
let's get honey out too, because I see the vinegar. I think this is your vinegar. Honey.
Honey is right here.
Honey. Okay. Thank you.
Do you want balsamic vinegar or do you want distilled vinegar?
Balsamic.
Balsamic vinegar.
Yes. Okay, so, and I'm not going to use very much of either.
Okay.
So the recipe calls for taking. Are we going to start? Oh, I'll start and then I'll explain it and then I'll put it together and we'll just grind it up real quick.
Okay, ready?
And we won't use too much in either recipe, in either the
No.
Parthian chicken or the turnips.
No, mine needs
So-
to be put into the wine.
Into the wine? Okay. So we'll use about half in yours and about half in mine.
Yeah.
Whatever I make. I'm not going to make very much.
Just let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready anytime. Okay, so the Romans had their own condiments the same way that we use like mustard or we might use soy sauce in certain types of cooking. One of their favorite things to use was something called lazer, which was derived from a silphium plant. And they loved this so much they would use its roots and its leaves and everything. They used it so much, and they used it in later the Greeks used it, and they used it in later Byzantine cooking, to the point where it was actually extinct before the fall of the Byzantine, late Roman Empire. That most of the sites I've seen online have suggested that the closest thing we have to that sort of flavor these days is garlic. And so it's a good substitute. So when a Roman recipe will call for lazer root, use garlic. But there is a condiment that's prepared with it that they mean when they just say lazer rather than root or leaves or whatever. And I'm going to make that condiment right now using garlic as a substitute for the silphium plant. So it calls for garlic. In here, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. It calls for parsley. Dried mint. And it calls for a little bit of, and then those would normally have been all mixed together in a mortar and pestle. So we're gonna actually put them in a spice grinder first and get them nice and evenly divided.
More?
Nope, that's good. Then can I get a little cup?
There's a
This is a tiny cup.
uh,
I don't know. I need a teacup or something like that.
ha 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 ha. Here we go.
Perfect.
There you go.
Thank you. I should have thought of that before we started. It's my fault. But when we get this in, what we're going to do is we're going to moisten it. It smells really good. It's like the beginnings of a pesto without olive oil or anything in it.
It does smell good.
Uh-huh.
Garlicky, parsley.
I'm not getting this in here very well. I'm gonna use my fingers. Anyway, once I get this in here, what I'm going to do is, according to the recipe, once this is all mashed together and minced to a good consistency, you moisten it with honey, vinegar, and broth. So I'm going to use a very, very small amount of all of those things. I'm going to use like a super small amount of honey here.
So that's a half.
This is a half
Is that a
teaspoon.
half teaspoon?
Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to, well, okay, I'll measure I'll use the same amount for the balsamic vinegar as well. I don't usually measure, as you all may know if you watch the show regularly, but
the Romans didn't have a whole lot of measurements either.
oh no. The really interesting thing about learning how to do these recipes is that there's never any indication, almost never any indication of how much of whatever to put in there. The only exception is actually tends to be like the liquor recipes. Otherwise, they just assume that you know how to cook something, and you know, I'll mention later, when they mention pepper in here, they mean allspice. But they only mean that in connection with honey or in a sweet drink or a sweet thing. Otherwise, they actually mean black pepper like we'd think it. So I'm going to put a teeny bit of black pepper in there. Of allspice in there, not black pepper. And I got some chicken broth back here. I don't care. I'm just going to use it. But I'm going to actually put a little bit more in there. She's laughing at me. She's like, what the hell did you just do?
No, I just like that. I don't care. I'm just gonna use it. I liked it. It was very, it's very Roman. It's like,
So I'm mixing this all up until it becomes sort of a paste-like consistency. It actually creates a pesto consistency. Very, very much like that. It's ground, compounded, and dissolved, just the way it was described. So since we already actually got this nice and ground, and since we've got the allspice kind of dissolved, the allspice and honey kind of dissolved in there, then what we wind up with is basically an ancient Roman pesto, which is called lazer.
What does it smell like? Is it
Delicious.
I like that description?
Most
It's delicious.
Right now, it mostly smells like vinegar and parsley, but there's definitely some garlic in there.
It almost just barely has a licorice, almost a licorice aroma to it.
Mm-hmm.
It does have a really
And that's from that allspice, definitely.
And I can't imagine anybody using a huge amount of this in a dish. It would just be so overwhelming.
No, certainly. Although they were creating very, very strong, pungent flavors in most of their sauces because they were working with meat that they didn't have any effective way
Oh yeah.
of keeping. So they would keep most of their dishes either, they would keep fish by totally immersing it with salt.
Yeah.
And then they'd have to, fix that later with something sweet. They would keep poultry by totally immersing it in honey.
Mhm.
And then they'd have to fix that later with like a bitter sort of sauce.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Sweet.
This is going to be
That
fun.
was great.
Mm-hmm.
That was
great.
really fascinating. That's
So do you
awesome.
want to do your intro next?
Yeah, we can do the intro
Just to get
next.
it
Can
over
do the
and
intro
done
next? Yeah, we can do that.
And then we'll start your chicken, and we can talk about other stuff. We can talk about dresses, and we'd all be dressed like if we were here, because we all know who we are.
I'll come in and say hello. Anyway,
Yes, please come in and say hello.
I just don't want to
You have
get.
to make our aperitif in a little bit too.
Right.
But I
I
don't.
want to check this.
I think we need broth for.
Oh, good. It's ready.
Is it ready? You need broth for the chicken too, and I need it for the turnip. So I'm just gonna leave
Okay,
it out for now.
Wait a minute. So I'm going to have you guys actually come in the
Okay.
intro.
Sure. What do you want us to
Just
do?
stand right
Come
there,
in?
and then I'll say, oh, my friends are here from the long forced march. And
Okay.
wait until Chase
Sounds
ready.
good to me.
Well, yeah. Actually, I should.
out of my way, out of my system.
Okay, I'm just going to warn you now. Do not bite down, actually, on the dry busalami bread.
Be careful with it, yeah.
Well, I'm just going to.
Oh, yeah, the dry stuff? No,
Well, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to give it to them as, they can, pretend to bite down on it, and then I'll give them the soap stuff.
Oh, yeah, because you would break it.
Do you want me to pretend to break my tooth?
Yeah, you can, you can, bite down and see if you can get through it.
No, don't.
Gently. Don't hurt yourself. Okay.
It's like fossilized.
Oh, look, my friends are here from the forced march. Oh, please come in, my friends. Come in, my friends. I know it's been such a long, hard journey for you, and let me tell you, I, the good host, have arranged for you to have some bucelatum. It's my best pre-hardtack.
Thank you.
Isn't it wonderful? It's
wonderful.
perfect. It's perfect for a journey.
I actually can.
Oh, well, maybe perhaps I actually should have offered you the softened version. That's because might be a little easier to eat after being softened for a whole hour.
You're very hospitable. Thank you.
Very.
You can see what this tastes like.
Thank you.
I'm imagining this is what journey bread looked like. Oh. Well, guys,
I actually like it just as well hard.
I guess when in Rome, we have to do what the Romans do, and this hardtack is part of Rome. welcome to Beery Good Entertainment's
Roman soldier food.
Yeah, Roman soldier food. Welcome to Beery Good Entertainment's episode number 7. When in Rome, we're going to talk all about Roman food, Roman condiments, Roman drinks. We may have a few beers that aren't quite Roman.
But this is very good entertainment.
That's right.
Really
This is very good entertainment.
We really have to have some
We
beer.
have to have beer. But we have lots and lots of really great food and perhaps a few Roman jokes to tell you.
Perfect.
Oh my God, this stuff sucks.
No,
Yeah,
no.
it's
Let's put the dried stuff back in there.
Well, this is just soaked in water.
I should probably
Wine would be
keep
better.
mine and eat it.
Wine would be better.
I don't want.
Oh, don't break it.
Doesn't matter.
Well, no, I
I've
mean,
got a whole fucking cupboard of the crap.
It's unlikely that they're
no, I just want to get anybody.
Huh?
I'm
She's worried about being
ill.
sick.
So I don't want anybody to eat anything I've bit off of.
Oh, well, you can toss it if you want. Are
Yeah,
you
we've got the
sure? It's
lesser
flour.
over here.
It's literally flour, salt, and water.
You can make it on the road on a
Hot rock.
And the soldiers probably just put it in their mouth and just kind of walk with it until their bones
Until it-
soften it enough to want to eat it.
Well, it would
It might.
be entertaining.
Well, it might even make you have more saliva. So if you had a dry mouth, because
Yeah.
like they putting rocks in your mouth or something like that.
Yeah.
Jokes like a hamster.
Okay, chicken.
Chicken.
Chicken. Yep. I'm gonna do this chicken.
I would have written out the chicken if I'd known you wanted it.
Huh? I did. I put it in the. Yep.
All the recipes should be in there.
This recipe is actually
Plus
in
a
the
couple I
same
don't think
recipe
you even
book that I used as well. It's just
Now it
this
didn't.
has been
Now
actually edited.
Now the
to
recipe
be-
book that I had didn't have any of the history of where this might have come from. Toga.
Kind of a
Toga,
place.
toga,
It's
toga.
Toga.
it would have been a
Tora.
so
What a mess. Okay, I'm gonna tell that one side because that's awesome. Oh,
toga.
sorry.
Toga. Semper ubi soup. Ubi.
Semper ubi sub ubi. Is that some kind of game?
If I wanted to double it. Yes.
The martini because of the eye.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chicken.
Okay.
All right. You want me to move out for a second?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
Do we want something to drink while we're cooking?
You can stand there, make funny faces, do this behind her.
Well, that's okay. And your thing, I pulled out the ketchup.
I love it. Condiments.
I would
No, I
have
was
pulled out
just thinking I'd help you prep if you needed it.
Oh no, I've got pretty much everything except the laser.
And
Yeah,
we got
there.
now.
Laser.
And I think you're gonna need broth, but if my
Nope,
recipe
just
called it.
Red wine.
Oh, cool.
Pink
6
wine.
fluid ounces.
Actually, that's probably
Okay.
What the wine would have looked like. To be honest.
all right. Well, I'll
Yeah,
move.
I used to water.
Let's see.
And yeah.
Okay. All right.
Some champagne.
This is Parthian chicken. This dish uses one of my ultimate favorite ingredients, the ubiquitous fish sauce. I love fish sauce. Oh man, I love fish sauce. Ever since I started making the flatbread, I have loved fish sauce. So, approximately 4 pieces of chicken. I used thigh. I have greased my little pan here, and I have preheated my oven to about 375. Yep. Chicken, lots of chicken. Chicken, more chicken. Stuff it in there. Ooh. And a little more. A couple more pieces. There we go. Now, liberally pepper your chicken. This does mean black pepper. And when the Romans say liberal, they really mean literally pepper your chicken. Mm. Mm, mm, mm.
I love
Even pepper smells. Even
I
pepper
love
smells good,
pepper.
doesn't it? Now, I have already washed and trimmed my leeks. Leeks were another favorite of the Romans, but I can see why. Man, they're so easy to grow. You stick them in the ground, wait 2 years, and boom, you got this massive, beautiful vegetable that stands up to stir frying, oven baking, steaming. It would have stood up to those market stalls that everybody used to actually frequent for their daily food ration.
Let's go grab some fresh vegetables.
Yeah. I did not realize that until I watched a documentary that there were food stalls for many Romans, and that's where they got their daily food. That's pretty cool. Wish we kind of, had like a food stall type situation here in a large area. That'd be nice.
I love that.
They have it in Japanese schools.
Mm-hmm.
Combine wine, fish sauce, and lasaire.
Perfect.
Lasaire. So I've got my wine. 6 whole ounces of lovely red wine. And I'm only going to use a very tiny amount of the lasaire because it calls for the concentrated bit.
I'd use about a tablespoon if I were you.
About a whole tablespoon?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm not going to use that much.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
That's about a
20.
tablespoon.
That's beautiful.
Now, cumin, caraway, lavage, lavage is like a celery type leaf. You can use it dried. You can also use celery leaf. In many recipes, people usually use like cream of celery soup instead of lavage. Yep. Now, I'm going to add this to the dates with the pieces of dried date. There we go. Dried dark dates. Swishy, swishy. Mmm. It actually smells very savory.
You got the fish sauce in there already?
Not yet.
Beautiful.
2 whole tablespoons of fish sauce.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have fish sauce, you can also use a little bit of asafoetida. Well, the fish sauce is much easier to get than asafoetida.
Would Romans
Well,
be
for
using
me.
garum here?
Garum, yes.
Yes.
Garum. The Romans would have referred to it as garum, which is that lovely mixture of fish parts stuck into a jug and then put out in hot sun for a couple of days.
Mm-hmm. But very, very similar to
Very similar to our fish sauce.
or an anchovy paste. Yes.
And that smells really, well, it smells fishy now, but it does smell savory. Right over the chicken. And I made
Your herbs and dates. Yeah. That's pretty.
The recipe calls for red wine, but obviously a lighter wine will do. There we go. Spread that out. Cover. And into a 375-degree Fahrenheit oven for a whole hour before you uncover it. Turn the chicken and put it back in for another 20 minutes. Out of the way of destruction. This dish is very full, which is good because we're going to use the liquid as a, well, I'm not sure if they would they actually use liquid as a gravy or
Yes.
or is it just considered a sauce?
Oh, they would absolutely create a gravy. Almost all of the dishes in the recipe book that I pulled my recipes from actually have described binding the sauce with and making a roux in order to form a gravy.
Oh, fantastic! So Roman cooking really is the precursor of our modern cooking.
Certainly, I think that we can see a lot of the precursors to different dishes, especially dishes in Italian and Greek food.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, our chicken is in here for 60 minutes, and we're going to move on to perhaps something to drink.
It's time for our aperitif, or do you want to start with some lunch or with some beer?
I think we could start with the aperitif.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
wanted to.
Oh yeah,
Roman
you know
food
what? We can
always
do the
starts with
aperitif and the fish too.
Yeah.
Well, the salmon.
I'll get the fish going, but
No, I meant my salmon.
your salmon.
I have a jar of pickled salmon.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
We're gonna have a lot of salmon.
Okay. Do you want me to?
The
I just have to grab the
aperitif.
stuff I need here.
I will get out of your way.
You are never in my way.
I think I had a
I'm gonna
recipe.
wash this up real
See,
quick.
I'll tell you what, I actually had a recipe for this. This is the easiest version of the same recipe you just did.
Yeah.
Chicken breast and thighs are browned with allspice. No, actually, this was actually black pepper, celery, caraway, moistened with broth and wine, then placed in a ceramic dish with seasoning over the top. Add lazer and wine. Braise till done and sprinkle with more black pepper.
I forgot the bay leaves.
I
I
like
did not come across that one.
It's the same. It's the book.
Yeah.
Jenny,
It's
I
an
forgot
old
I
book.
forgot the bay leaves.
All of these
The
recipes
bay
are coming
leaves.
from
There are
that.
bay leaves.
Right. I don't need very many.
It's right here.
And
Oh, thank you. Good job.
oh my gosh, you have it. Oh, thank you. I apologize.
Anyway, I think I
Okay,
prefer
well,
the recipe because it has the dates and everything in it.
Okay, before we go any further, Amy, do not apologize for stuff, especially not on camera. If you drop something, it's perfectly all right. Just let it sit there. It's okay.
Okay, well, can I steal one more thing from you? Do you have anything
Yeah.
fennel or aniseed?
Yes, fennel. I know if I fennel.
I forgot that I needed to get something that was more aniseed-ish.
I don't remember fennel.
Because we have no
I have
way
caraway.
Because we just have no way of getting a hold of mastic.
Yeah.
I think I just leave it out. It's just I'm looking for something with that kind of licoricey flavor.
Caraway has it.
Yes, that'd be fine. Anything with
Here you go.
caraway would be great. Yeah.
Let's do caraway.
Oh, thank you.
I think you like caraway more than you like fennel too, so you'll probably like
I'm not a better.
May I have a blue rag, please?
Can I help?
I'm just gonna get this stuff out of the way.
I have pictures and a little bit of video of what I did last night
Okay.
to make these guys. So I just need like maybe I'm not gonna fit in here. So
Did you get the photos up?
I got photos. I don't think actually I might be able to come up right now. Just a minute.
Yeah, you just take the backup thing.
Because I'm doing no good back here right now. Never drop the fish sauce in your kitchen. You will have to move. You're probably right, Si. You're probably right.
I was gonna-
Oh, there's someone.
You want me to dry it more?
Hang on, I'm just trying to get stuff basically out of the way.
You're doing wonderful. I'm just over here, so I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'll do whatever you need to do. One. Trying to be a gentleman.
Well, I've at least got it on the feed. I'll share the videos and everything that you.
Put those a little butter in. I thought it I can't.
Yeah, if you open the photo tab, you can take and forward this, select the ones you want to share. And you know that it's kind of find the share symbol?
Yeah.
So you can click that and click share with shared out, and you'll see very good entertainment.
Oh, cool.
Everyone can see them there.
Oh, okay. I just put them on the Discord.
Yeah.
But I'll fix that.
And you can do that with video as well, if that's a video as well.
I have some videos. I don't know how well the vocals are gonna come through with my stuffed upness, but at least you can see kind of the action of it, especially with the whip. The whip is pretty cool.
It was. It smells.
And I have said that a lot of times in my life.
But the whip really came through.
The whip is pretty cool. Yep.
Well,
The whipping really came through for me this time. I really enjoyed it.
It works. It works. All right.
it works sometimes.
No kink shaming.
I thought this was a G channel.
No. The people who
I might have
interact
ru-
with
I think
us
I might
have to be
have
G.
ruined it.
We can be as nasty as we want.
Okay.
I think I might have
Good.
ruined it.
I'm really glad. I'm really glad because I really didn't want to bother censoring myself.
Okay.
All right.
I
Um,
think it's actually
Do you have anything? Apologize. Do you have anything like a large decanter or anything that I could? I'm putting more wine in this, about as much as there is of this.
I have this. I
That
have.
might do it. That might do it. That's pretty huge. If you don't mind if I use it.
Nope.
I'd rinse it.
Well, we
Is
used
there-
it last time too. Do you not need to add any? Is it heated at all?
No, this is all gonna be cold.
Okay.
Nope.
The rag, the blue one.
At least as far as it says.
The blue.
According to it,
There you go.
according to the recipe, we're not putting anything. We're not heating it again.
Okay. There you go. What? Right up there.
Thank you. So I'll read the recipe, and if it seems like that's not the case to you guys, but this is what I read.
no.
The composition of excellent spiced wine is as follows. Into a copper bowl, put 6 sextari of honey and 2 sextari of wine. Heat on a low fire, constantly stirring the mixture with a whip. At the boiling point, add a dash of cold wine, retire from stove and skim. Repeat this twice or 3 times. Let it rest until the next day and skim again. Then add 4 ounces of crushed pepper, 3 scruples of mastich, a drachm each of nard or laurel leaves, and saffron, 5 drachms of roasted date stones crushed and previously soaked in wine to soften them. When this is done, add 18 sextari of light wine. Does it sound like I'm reheating it?
Nope, it doesn't.
That's what I thought.
But I would probably strain it after you add Bambi
After I add
from the
the-
saffron.
Well, yeah, me too. Definitely.
Buddy phone.
Definitely seems like a plan. Okay. Also, I haven't seen you forever. You definitely do.
Huggies, huggies.
I just seen you forever. I need to hug you before you keep pictures.
Get the saffron out here.
Almost forgot.
Oh, yeah. Let me get that for you there.
Okay.
For a second.
We a mess. Okay. So,
Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready. I'm as ready as I'm gonna be. Let me get my hair back out of my face a little bit.
Well, you could pretend to be your one from the ring.
Oh God. No.
Samara?
Yeah. Nobody would want her to cook for them.
Yeah.
I can't
Ring Roman style.
I can't see anybody. Can't see anybody going for that.
You're bartending. We might want that.
You want to be bartended by a one girl with her hair in her face? Oh.
Probably not.
Is this where the whipping comes in?
Could be.
Ready?
Hi. So I'm going to be talking about a Roman version of an aperitif spiced wine. As with many Roman recipes for liquor, for some reason they take a long time. I really wanted to share a rose wine with you, which is basically white wine infused over and over and over again with rose petals. But it takes 3 weeks to do it, and I did not get started soon enough. So instead, we're going to show the they call conditum paradoxum, which was the kind of thing that everybody would have had before a meal. Almost every meal they would have something like this before it. So I started last night, and I took white wine, and I'm using Chardonnay, and I'm using kind of a fairly cheap Chardonnay because I'm going to be adding a whole lot to it. But it's a nice one. It holds up, the yellowtail. And I was a little bit, and what it calls for is like a third portion of white wine to 2/3 portion of honey. So it's like twice as much honey goes into that wine as there is wine, and that was a little weird for me because I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of honey. But you gotta trust the recipe. So you put that in, and then you make what they call a whip, which is a whole bunch of stiff herbs that were tied together and used to stir. And I don't have the whip with me, but I personally used rosemary, marjoram, and basil. And I had it all tied together. And once it got boiling, we added that honey in, stirred it up nice and good. And then we went ahead and added a little bit more wine and strained out all the little bits that come off of that whip as you're stirring. And one thing I noticed, they do this 2 or 3 times, and by the end of it, I didn't really have much of a whip left. But you could smell it. I mean, we were going, oh my gosh, that smells really awesome. And one of the great things about it is that when you're trying to infuse herbs, sometimes you can get stuck with a whole lot of extra bits. And doing this really quickly this way doesn't give it a chance to really disintegrate inside of your liquor. So it's actually not necessarily something we wouldn't want to try. making liquor nowadays. So anyway, one day later, after having strained it every time and let it chill overnight, I'm going to be adding some more herbs to it, and then we're going to strain it a little bit more. So I'm supposed to add 4 ounces of crushed pepper, and again, I used honey, so the pepper that I'm talking about is allspice. And in terms of,
You took the recipe down a little bit though, so are you gonna put all 4
yes,
ounces in?
I'm not going to do what I just said in terms of 3
You didn't
ounces,
put 3 pints.
because I don't have 3 pints of liquid here. If I had 3 pints of liquid, then I would use 3 ounces, but I absolutely do not. So no, that is definitely, that would be a lot too much allspice. We're putting in our pepper. And the one thing Jen did mention, that they don't use a lot of measurements except with liquor recipes. The liquor recipes, they use like about 80 completely different different measurements. In this one it says it uses sextaries and ounces and drachms and scruples, and it's
Oh my.
This is definitely going to be a little bit of a guessing game for me.
There is a link. There is going to be a link in the show notes as to Roman measurements, but I couldn't figure out what the Roman measurements were.
So, and then, okay, so mastich, which is the next thing I'm supposed to put in, and I'm supposed to put in 3 scruples of that, it's a resin that comes from the pistachio lentiscus tree, and you can get it online. It's called Arabic gum mastitia most of the time. Sometimes the tears of Chios. It has a piney and licorice-like flavor. I couldn't get it. We did look for it, but so we're gonna go ahead and use some caraway seeds just to try to get a sense of that licoricey, piney kind of flavor. So. And then we've got laurel leaves. The amount that I'm actually dealing with, I think, too, is plenty. And saffron. And if you've ever worked with saffron like threads like this, you can tell they're very, very, very potent. So,
And very expensive.
and exceptionally expensive. So do be careful with your saffron. And then finally, I should be adding roasted date stones that were crushed up, softened in wine and crushed up, but I'm not doing that either because I got lazy. But if you want to do an absolutely or as accurate as you can version of this, you should absolutely try that. There's no reason why it couldn't be done. But I'm gonna stir that up, get that nice and spiced. And I'm gonna have a smell and see if it smells like the flavors coming in the way I want them to. It actually smells like I could use a little more allspice, to be honest. Just in terms of the overpoweringness of some of those other flavors. So I'm gonna hope that I can tell what I'm doing. Oh, and we'll see if I can. You guys can actually drink this. You really like to hear. Ooh. Anyway, so I get that stirred up. And then I'm going to strain it, hopefully without making a huge mess. And we're going to add about as much liquid, about as much fresh wine as we already have in there. So there's going to be quite a bit of this. And I already cut it in third. It looks pretty. It looks interesting to me. Now, the final step for many Romans would have been to add charcoal to clarify. And if you have activated charcoal and you want to use that, you might be able to get rid of some of the cloudiness of this. This is still pretty cloudy. You can tell even after having strained it. I could probably strain this 2 or 3 more times, in all honesty, just looking at it. And they do still use charcoal to clarify liquor. So there's nothing, I just wasn't able to get activated charcoal to use. But I'm going to taste this, and then I'm going to see if we need to strain it about 3 more times, because we may.
Oh, we do have coffee filters. I just want to try it.
You want to try it like this? All right, if you want to try it like this, you can try it like this. I'm just concerned.
We're coming on screen,
Here, let's do this over this.
or at least I am.
Hey, cheers.
At least I'm coming on screen.
Try this and make sure that it's drinkable.
It doesn't look too cloudy to me at all.
Well, it's kind of hang out at the bottom where the problematicness is.
When it smells like those herbs and saffron. Super herby, medicinal sort of honey.
See what you think of
Almost
it
like a
before I give you too much.
Okay,
This smells like a lozenge,
It
but
does. It smells.
But it doesn't taste
Smells
like
medicinal.
One. It
for
actually
sure.
tastes sweet.
Mmm.
Oh,
That's incredible.
it
It's
does.
very-
It smells really. It tastes
This-
really good.
Okay, it does
It
smell
smells
a little
like a
like
Hall's lozenge, but it's not.
Hall's. It smells a little like a Supercoat lozenge.
Yeah. It does. It doesn't taste like that. There's
Mm-mm.
still so much honey in there.
Oh, you know
Really
what? I
tastes
bet
really good.
I bet this would be really good with the
Nice aperitif.
And you're
with that
probably
little
not supposed to.
appetizer I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
I want to
Ooh.
try out your appetizer.
As an aperitif, you probably don't want that much of it anyway, so you can always put this away from later.
I think we're gonna drink that before the end of the night. It's pretty tasty.
Well, this is something only rich Romans actually got. It's a pickled salmon and onion.
Pickled salmon.
Pickled
and
salmon
onion.
and onion. Salmon, of course, came from Gaul, and and the Romans would actually farm their own salmon in their own little backyards. They make pools just to farm their own fish. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
They really liked morenas as well. I'm not really sure what.
I'm not sure what morenas. I didn't come across that one, but
That was like one of their favorites as well. It might be. I don't. It might be something where I know the actual name of it, and it wasn't being translated in the book I was reading.
and while I'm serving this, we'll show you how I made this. Yay!
And we're back with sound again. Okay. Oh
Yeah,
my.
there was this story, this terrible story
That's
about
really,
this,
really sweet.
It is really sweet.
this one guy
Could
who
actually take more wine than there's more
Oh my
extra
goodness.
wine than there is extra wine in there.
Do you want to hear a scary
I know
story
my bones.
about fish being raised in Romans yards?
Yes.
So there's this very, very common, well-known story. It is actually the only example of this kind of thing that has been on record. But there was a certain rich Roman, who was raising fish in his backyard, and he would raise them on human flesh.
Oh.
The moment, anytime any one of his slaves would displease him or do anything slightly out of line, he'd just kill them and put their bodies in the fish tank
Feed them to the fish.
in order to fatten them.
That is creepy. That is.
The
that
vinegar
is-
actually cooked the fish.
That is hella creepy.
I'm pretty surprised. Go. I'm going to use you
Thank you.
to steal another. Work.
Well, I love pickled anything, but this is really good. The pickling liquid you use here has such a wonderful flavor to it, and the onions and fish go
Forget
together
to
really
feed your
well.
producer. Just some nice sushi grade salmon and onion, and
So what all is in here?
We found such
This-
good recipes.
this is honey. This is a honey vinegar, salmon, and a mixture of herbs. If I
I think I have laurel leaves.
can't remember exactly what went into it.
It's pretty good.
Really, really nice pickling liquid.
That's a very nice combination of sweet and sweet and tart.
And with the fish, it works really well.
Oh yes.
I can see where Rich
See
Roman
if it
would
goes
want
well with this.
I think the fish damps it down a little.
That might be an overwhelming amount of honey, but
No, I think that's pretty good.
It could be an overwhelming amount of honey for
it
a
suits.
few people, but
It suits.
No, just the combination.
I think the
And the
tartness
onion-
in here is good.
Mm-hmm.
And having those pickled onions in there really does go really
All
well.
the pickled onions.
Oh, pickled appetizer and an aperitif.
Nice.
Not
Delicious.
bad at all.
Delicious.
Success.
I say absolutely.
Perfect. That's
Oh.
great.
It's wonderful. You did a wonderful job.
Oh, this is mustard seed.
Mustard I love mustard,
Mustard
seed.
seed was in there.
And that's probably, I'm sure I loved. I mean, that made it even better for me.
There were definitely bay leaves in there too.
Mm-hmm. How long has the chicken been in?
Not long enough yet.
15 minutes maybe.
I'm just planning. I want to get the. I want to make sure that we do our prep and get everything cooking
Well,
in a good order. to
It
eat
looks
it.
like I think it's time for you to get your turnips going because
For fish?
according to this, well, the fish is going to be fast.
Oh, okay.
This according to this, we're
Well, the
looking at
turnips
about a
might be
half an hour.
fast too, depending on how we kind of, on how
You want to be-
densely we kind of
I'm
must.
gonna be done though. I
Yeah.
can watch the dishes.
The wine on me. Like,
It's lovely.
Thank you.
you'd be up there with like a four or a bourbon barrel aged thing for me. You know that?
It's very.
Totally ransom.
I really
That-
love the
that-
sweetness.
When she was cooking it, the smell
Very good.
that came up from the
It's
herbal
really-
whip she made, it was like it's such a wonderful way to cook anything.
And one of the things I wonder about is if the longer it sits, the more you might get
Yeah.
different flavors come through.
And you say you can leave that for like a month or something.
Oh, the rose petal one was 3 weeks,
The
right?
rose petal one. Well,
The
we're
rose
gonna
petal
try
one
it. We're
takes
gonna
3
do another
weeks,
Roman
yeah.
one, and we're gonna try that. I've got a couple more recipes. I mean, if I ever want to really try to kill myself, I will try. I have a recipe for taking a big bird like a turkey and making it
And see, we finally got your stuff back to you.
making it breathe fire.
What?
That was yours. We
Oh,
finally got
really?
it back
Oh.
to you.
Okay. Well, I can definitely use it.
So if we'd like to make a turkey breathe fire at any time in the future things,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to
You
see
can
a
have a
turkey
pocket
breathe.
tip.
I'd love to
Have a
see a
turkey
turkey
breathe
breathe
fire.
fire.
So the whip, the actual bunch of herbs, did
Yeah.
it just disintegrate?
It eventually did. Like the first stir, it pretty much stayed together almost completely. I didn't really have to strain out that much at all.
Oh, cool.
But then as we kept going, because we're supposed to leave it basically boiling as you're doing this,
Yeah.
then it started
there
to
is a
kind
lot
of
of
fall
salmon.
apart.
You might be right. We might want to do fish first. Anyway, sorry, please.
No.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You didn't. There's nothing to worry about. But the cool thing about the whip is you can make it with whatever kind of herbs, and as long as there's something that would stand up.
Yeah.
And that you can actually bundle together like that. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure the original version probably would again have used bay leaves. They would have used floral leaves because they like to use them for everything. But I just couldn't find a way to get them to stick inside my whip. So
Well, I mean, we do.
because you can't get
We
like
do
a
have
laurel
the ability.
branch
We
or
do,
anything.
we do have the ability to have bay laurel leaf trees here,
Yes.
and they get about as
Mhm.
big as my little key lime over there.
Right, and if I had like a little tree,
Yeah.
you could take like a branch off and it'd be perfect.
Yeah, but they're hard to
coming
find.
always coming dried and always that
Yeah.
was. So we went a different direction.
Yeah, they're hard to find. Although next time could go down to Homegrown Gardens. I'll bet Homegrown Gardens has like little bay laurel trees, and you just snip and
Just
that'd be
take
a little,
them.
that'd be a little sneaky,
A
but
little sketchy.
that's a little
sketchy, but
sketchy.
yeah. sketchy.
We're we though we've had that.
Where does saffron come from? So
The crocus flower.
it's very rare.
It's
or something?
literally just the little stamens inside a flower,
Yeah.
just a little colored. That is what the saffron is. When the crocus opens up, those tiny little threads. That's why it's so expensive.
Do you want to just try it?
It's incredibly.
No, don't waste it.
No, I don't
Care. I bought it.
We have it too. That's what I make yellow rice with.
Oh yeah, saffron rice.
Saffron rice is super.
It's
super.
exceptionally.
Yeah.
It's It's not that bad. Actually, I probably could have put more in here if you really wanted to taste it. I'm not getting a lot of it. I'm getting a lot of in this particular thing because I added all that allspice afterwards. So I'm getting a lot of allspice and a lot of honey.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah.
I just smell it though.
Yeah.
So
It's strong. It's really good in rice.
Yeah.
It's really good in rice.
but you can put that back.
Oh no. Oh sorry. Yeah, I can.
No need to waste it.
The Mediterranean store here has two types.
Saffron?
One, yeah, this, which is real,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then they have another type, which is not real.
And
Yep.
that's and every store does
In
too.
every store, if you
That's
go to
why I
Safeway,
got-
if you buy saffron,
That's why I
Safeway,
got. That's why I
not
got
real.
That's why I got this at Fred Meyer, because this is real.
The Safeway saffron from Spice Islands or McCormick is not real. They're
No.
different flowers.
Very aromatic.
Yeah.
It's exceptionally, and it's extremely popular in many cuisines, especially
Yeah.
especially in the Middle East and then up into the Mediterranean.
So what are we doing next?
What are we doing next?
Either the turnips or the fish.
That means tomorrow one.
And, yeah.
Oh,
more
yes, absolutely.
Delicious.
Yeah, either the turnips or the
That's-
fish and
you
more
could
wine.
freaking sip
Um,
that,
Yeah, I know.
away.
I forgot to bring bacon.
I don't have any
We
bacon.
might have vegetarian.
We didn't bring
Oh,
bacon.
actually, we do have vegetarian bacon.
Do you want me to run to the store and get bacon and cilantro?
Well, the vegetarian.
Yeah.
The vegetarian bacon.
I mean,
It's
we
just
can
like
use the
bacon.
vegetarian bacon.
Really?
I am not
Right.
even joking.
I would like to try this because I don't believe you.
Honestly, this is they would be using uncured bacon anyway, so as long as we can get this cooked up quickly.
I've never had vegetarian bacon,
So
so I'm actually
The,
curious about it enough to totally try
This
it.
stuff is.
we also don't have cilantro, and the mushrooms do call for that, but I can use
Oh,
any of it.
yeah,
I think it'd be amazing.
I used it all.
But I can still run over. I mean,
But I was just thinking that like
smells good.
There's an onion.
you
You
could
cook
use
it.
like marjoram or
It doesn't take long either.
marjoram or base. No,
Well, I don't know if she needs it to be cooked or not.
Oh no, I do. We do have onion, don't we? We brought onion. Yes, it needs to be
We
cooked.
didn't bring onion.
We didn't.
You didn't tell me you needed onion or bacon.
Yes, I did. That's why you bought it yesterday. All right.
4 bulbs. Are you joking? This household uses onion like it's water.
Well, we'll replace your
we'll
onion.
replace your onion.
We'll refurbish your onion. We don't want to. We don't want to fight in front of our lovely viewers.
Well,
I
we're,
How
just
much
wonder if they
bacon do you
want
need?
we're sisters and it happens.
Well, we're going to be stuffing this inside that giant salmon, so I would say about maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 slices. Oh, because we want to have enough that everyone gets the bacon flavor.
I should not have told her it was vegetarian bacon. I should have just cooked it and then given it to her.
Yeah.
No,
I can
I'm
tell by
very-
looking at it that it's vegetarian bacon.
I'm very
sorry.
I'm very curious as to what it tastes like, to be honest. I'm open minded.
What is this from? Is this
That's
the
just
bacon?
the package.
Okay, this is the package. So I'll just put it over here so that you can put the rest of it away while I chop up some onion. Knife.
Knife is in the back.
I am not. I can't cut onion with that knife.
I'll get it. How much do you need?
We are going to be putting the entire giant salmon over the top of
All
it,
of
so
it.
the whole thing.
We'll just reimburse. And you just need slices,
Yes.
or do you want it cut up?
Slices is fine. We're gonna garnish with it later, but you can garnish with slices just as easily as you can garnish with like chopped up anything. The recipe actually calls for broiling the bacon, but I just don't think that we have the time or the inclination.
It doesn't matter with
The
this.
Romans didn't really use frying pans, so that's they either boiled things or they cooked or they oven baked them. So, but I hate making you guys work so hard. I should be doing something.
You're talking.
Maybe I should be
You're explaining
peeling
your
turnips.
You're
or
explaining
something.
your recipe. Oh, you could peel the turnips.
Okay, no, I'll explain the recipe. I mean, this I
Well,
fell
we
in
have-
love with this recipe the second I saw it because
Wait. We're not recording. Are we?
No. You want me to start recording?
sure. I'll get slightly in front of you guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll go to no fashion.
Yeah.
Feel free to abuse us. We're
No, I appreciate. I really
We're your
appreciate
kitchen
my sous
staff.
chef. I'm the sous chef. So
I'm trying to make so much
when I
noise.
found this recipe in my cookbook from Apicius, which is this ancient Roman cookbook, which has been translated and retranslated so many times. And it was actually the thing that made me want to do ancient recipes in the first place when I first found it. So when I found this recipe, I was just like, oh my gosh. Because every other recipe I'd found looked a little bit like I wasn't really sure how it would taste. It had these ingredients that I'd never heard of or condiments I'd never heard of, and I just didn't know. This one, though, we were able to put it right into our show notes, and I didn't feel like I needed to make any comments because I figured that everyone, just like me, can look at it and say, oh, that sounds amazing. So you take a whole fish, or essentially at least it hasn't been filleted yet. It's got, it's the one we have actually has the head off, but you could do it with the head on and it'd probably be even better. And you broil it or bake it over the top of onions and, with a little bit of broth and some other things to create some steam. And then when it's done, you fill it, the inside of it, with bacon, and then drizzle a little vinegar over the top, some fresh herbs, and the onions that you cooked it over, which are all now saturated in these, beautiful juices from cooking the fish. It just sounded so amazing, so we're going to try it out. So we're cooking bacon, we are chopping onions, and I'm just about to rinse off and the fish and get it ready to go in the oven.
Here's your onions.
I need a big
Some of these
pan.
are pretty thick, but I think that'll be okay because it'll.
Big pan. Because this is a huge salmon.
Big pan?
I'm going to be leaving.
Yeah.
Is that an oven ready pan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I
I
think we
don't
can do it
think
here.
she's got any that aren't.
Excellent. We can do that. Because I think we're going to be leaving you quite a bit
I'm
of
gonna get out of the way.
fish.
Smells good. No, I'm telling you, I'm open. I bet it would take a lot of calories out of my.
You're
diet.
open?
I'm open. Even on Christmas.
Do you need us to pass to you?
Downfield.
Ah, the fish is a little bit slippery.
All right, just a minute. Let me.
As fish
actually
maybe
replace
wants
the
to be.
Chef's normal bacon with Morningstar bacon. Let's see if she likes it.
Here, let me get this crap out of your way here. There you go. Wash my hands again.
So it got fins on it.
Anyway,
So you said broiled. Does that mean you don't want the bacon crisp?
The recipe originally called for broiled bacon, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't mean that they don't want it.
broiled. Yeah, no, they would want it crisper.
They don't want it crisp. I think that means that it's just that
baked
they
it.
had such a limited option for ways to actually cook the bacon. They pretty much only boiled things or baked them. They didn't really do a lot of work with a frying pan. Now, Amy, Francesca, would you like to put the onions in there so I can lay this? This fish is heavy. It is huge.
Did you
Look at this thing.
It's a big fish.
Fishy fish. Where has my fishy gone?
Did you need olive oil or anything under the onions?
I think there is something that's going to go in there, but I'm going to put the fish down first and then just like pour it and then sort of move the pan
Would
so
you
that I
like
can
me to
get this
hold
out
your
of my
fish?
hand.
I can hold your fish.
Oh,
if
but
you
then
want.
you would have to wash your hands too.
Well,
There we go.
I
Now I can wash my hands. I appreciate the offer though.
Just for a second.
That's hot. I hope you stopped it before I said, that's hot.
That's what I'm looking at.
You can always come out.
You don't have to edit it out. You can admit what I'm like. Let me find my recipe here. Whole fish.
That's quite pretty though.
This is not the actual original transcription, but it is just my interpretation of the original transcription. Whole fish, cleaned, is cooked over chopped onions or shallots with oil and stock. Yes, so I need olive oil, and I need some more of that vegetable broth. Oh yeah, you're taking a selfie with a giant fish and the veggie bacon.
That's pretty funny. Pretty awesome.
Were you just saying?
Don't-
I'm not really understanding it.
You don't get very often. You don't get the chance very often to take a selfie with a whole fish.
Well,
Whole fish.
if I'd have had the head on it, I liked it even more. We all
I mean, you're
we all
the
like
head
to-
off the fish.
we always like to have some head on our fish, right?
Yes. Actually, I do like the heads off the fish. I like fish head soup.
I'm telling you, that bacon smells like bacon.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. Now it's getting brown.
I like crispy. Crispy's good. Although we are going to cook it again afterwards. But...
Do you want me to wait in the rest of the fish until you're filming again?
Yeah, I don't think that's
Oh yeah. Well, no worries. I'm gonna figure out the percentages I want with this giant can. Yeah, I think that's gonna be good. Almost there. Almost there. And you have olive oil in that giant can, right?
There's olive oil here for
Okay.
easy handling.
Yeah, it's handling olive oil.
okay. Starting it again.
All right. So, yes, so it does actually call for the onions to have some chicken stock. Well, stock. This would be whatever stock they had, be it vegetable or, whatever they had cooked, a chicken or
Lamb.
fish or lamb or whatever.
Lamb
in.
was a favorite.
Oh yeah, they used a lot of lamb. I've got chicken stock, so I'm going to add some chicken stock in order to sort of make that nice and saucy so that it will steam as we cook this fish. And it also calls for olive oil. It calls for oil, and the Romans meant olive oil. And I am.
Oh, I'm
Sorry.
sorry. You okay?
It's okay, Dom. I am always liberal with my olive oil. So, it should be. We put that, so it says, yes, so it says, whole fish cleaned is cooked over chopped onions or shallots with oil and stock. Obviously, the recipe you're going to see online is going to be slightly different. It's the last translation in the book, word for word. This is just my interpretation of that interpretation. After it's done, it will be filled with the cooked bacon and garnished with vinegar, finely chopped savory. We don't have savory, but we're going to have some savory herbs to use for that, and the onions that it was cooked on top. So I need to set the onion at the oven. Let's see. We're cooking fish, so get the wine out of your way. I need fish, so I think 350, 375. What do you think?
350 would be good.
Yeah. I don't want to overcook fish. I
Yeah.
don't ever want to overcook fish.
No.
Now, this is a huge fish, so it's going to take longer than I would expect it to. Normally, it's a huge fish and it's 2 giant fillets. So it's probably going to take about 40 minutes. So we want to get it in the oven.
You don't need a cover?
No. I don't think so.
And your bacon?
They would not have. Ooh, I want to taste the bacon. I have to taste the bacon too.
Do you want
It's
the
necessary.
It's his bacon.
savory?
There is savory.
Oh, no, savory?
Oh, of course there's savory.
Why did I ever think
You know,
for
it's-
2 seconds that you didn't have anything that I couldn't find in the supermarkets?
You know, it's so weird that Romans
That's gonna taste so good.
Romans had so many of the same herbs and spices that we use today.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think of the bacon?
I think it's really good. Your texture's,
Bacon.
texture's a little different, but the flavor is really good. So I really like it.
So since I didn't know you had savory, weird question. Do you have coriander?
Oh yes.
So the recipe
No.
actually calls
Yeah.
for coriander.
I have
just
ground.
usually
Yeah, I have ground coriander. Yeah.
so the recipe for the mushrooms actually calls for coriander. I just actually, well, no, it calls for fresh coriander, green.
Well-
That's why I usually use cilantro.
Well, right behind
Me.
all these
Bacon
all
tastes
these,
amazing.
Yeah, all these herbs right here on this counter, plus the picture that we'll show, are all herbs that Romans used and that
Yes,
I
they
love it.
are.
a lot of us can find on our shelves. It's fantastic
Mhm.
how many things we use today that Romans used. So it's really not going to be
Sure.
that difficult for anybody to make a serious Roman dish.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I hope that we're able to show you how many of these are actually quite simple to prepare.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So fish in the oven
You have-
for
I mean, so again, this is one of those old Roman recipes where they just assume that you know
How
Yeah.
long you
how
cook
long
your
it is. It
fish.
says cook it till it's done.
cook it till it's done.
Cook it till it's done. It's simple.
So, that huge salmon, like whole like that with the 2 fillets.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it longer than I would give just like 1 fillet.
Yeah.
I want to give it at least 40 minutes and then check it.
Ooh, excellent.
What do you think? Do you think I should not?
Half hour, and then kind
Make
of
it a half
Half
hour
hour
and
and
look at
check
it.
it? Okay.
because the oven might be hotter than usual.
That's true, because it is in 350, so.
Yeah.
So it's we can check it at half an hour.
Yeah.
But I put a fillet that size of
Perfect.
Do we want to do some
Jump down the fridge.
yes, let's do some
beer or
Let's do some beer.
Let's do beer next.
Do you want
Let's get the Duchess cold so that we can get that for our producer soon. Do you want to do the
Those are the wines.
No.
It is, isn't it?
do you want to do like a big switch? Do you want to do the cold fire?
Cold fire, okay?
Yeah.
Cold fire's good.
This is the minute after midnight.
Mm-hmm. I should start the turnips relatively soon too, but I don't think they're going to take that long to boil.
No.
What you do with your glass?
Oh, I rinsed
That's
mine.
gone.
You can have this one if you want.
It's what?
That's gone. Not working.
Oh
Oh,
no,
what's not working?
camera?
No, the charger.
There's another. The cord or the charger itself?
The cord, as far as I can tell.
Well, there's another cord in the garage. You want me to go get the other cord?
I can go there.
Okay.
Where is it?
Hooked up.
Oh no, that's.
Oh, sweetie, the freezer's good for at
Yeah, no,
least
it's grounded.
7
It's-
hours.
Yeah, it's got a quick charge on it, so as soon as we just see, I'll put the phone in.
If you want. If you want.
Are we okay then?
Yeah.
We good to go?
Mhm.
Okay. Do you want to look up the cold fire real quick? Do you have your tidbits?
Cold fire Imperial Stout.
It's a minute after midnight.
Cold fire minute after midnight.
I know it's delicious. I know it's 9.9. It's not very much though, so we should be okay.
Oh. Your glass?
My glass is here. Needs to rinse out with water.
Yeah, with the sugar. Everybody probably wants to give theirs a little bit of a rim. Jen, do you need a new glass?
I think I've got a quite a.
Well, there we
Okay, let's just do that.
Sorry.
No, nothing.
That's okay. No,
I'm a
don't
slow
apologize. Don't apologize for being a
It's
slow drinker.
It's
It's okay.
okay.
Okay, Che, you ready?
No, there's a slow drinker in the house. It's put me off, you know.
I know. I don't know why you let me in at all.
Please don't
Just
step on my
won't do.
guinea pig.
What's the guinea pig doing over there?
Oh, he's probably
He's upset because I took away his box.
and we're being loud.
But he's so cute. Oh, he doesn't care about the loudness. He enjoys being part of life, which is why I put him there.
It's not over there.
Okay,
That's
well,
what
okay,
everything did.
great. So now I have to report another malfunction in the house,
Okay.
along with the stupid bathroom sink.
There's
Are we ready?
Oh,
Yeah,
hi,
I'm gonna-
Jennifer. I hope she's still there. I did not.
Which Jen?
Jen Evans.
Oh, cool.
All right.
There we
Okay.
go.
I'll let you introduce the cold fire.
Josh might be there as well.
Let me see your notes. real
Pardon me.
quick, If I
Oh,
may.
I just. Sorry, my phone is so particular.
Oh, it doesn't like other people's fingers.
It's untapped should be okay.
I just want to double check that everything I say is true before I say it. Yep, got it. Russian Imperial Stout, 9.9,
Well, you
9.5.
well, over 9,
over 9.
and it is a Russian Imperial. So
Over 9. Yeah.
You can have a little. You probably have a little.
It's an Imperial.
okay,
Oh, this is plenty.
okay, Chip.
Okay.
Pour me a beer so I can join you. We're currently having a stout.
We would love it. Please,
Absolutely. Please join us in
please come join
Yes,
us.
please. Grab a beer and then we'll get ourselves started.
Alrighty. Cold fire.
Ready?
So the first beer that we're going to taste is the Cold Fire Minute After Midnight, which is a Russian Imperial Stout. It is over 9%, and it about 65 IBUs. And you
Is that
smell
common?
it.
I can't remember. Is that common for a Russian Imperial Stout to have a higher IBU count?
Yes, absolutely. Those Russian Imperial Stouts, it's like they put more of everything in. There's more malt, more
if I
sugar,
remember from-
more hop, more,
If I remember
than you
from
would
the
normally see.
categorization of regular Imperial Stout, it's going to be can be somewhere between 7.5% and 9%, and the Russian Imperial Stout can go up to 13%.
Wow.
Well, but in terms of the hoppiness too, they do tend to be hoppier.
Oh, they're super hoppy.
because they do tend to be hoppier, and that's
But
probably
you
the same
don't
reason that an
taste
IPA was originally designed to be hoppy.
It's just-
it's
no, it's-
just kind of
I think it's just balanced because the black malts have a tendency to be sweet, and then as you start getting the heat from the alcohol, you actually need those hops to balance it. Because I feel like with this beer,
But they were also dealing with
or with like the older Sputin or something like that, I'm not it's not inordinately sweet. It's not inordinately hoppy. But it's probably got an IBU around 60 or
this is
70.
65.
65. It's
And that's absolutely true now, for sure. It's more about balance and getting that balance in. But I thought I heard that back when the Russian Imperial Stout was kind of created,
Yes.
they were going through long hauls in
Yes.
in very cold weather, and they need the high alcohol is so that it doesn't freeze, but then the additional hops are kind of so that it doesn't spoil in those long
Exactly.
periods.
The super hobby beers were actually designed to survive long voyages without spoiling because hops are both an antibacterial and an antifungal.
What I think they did really well on the malts with this because it's super like the roastiness is really complemented by whatever hops they did use. It's really complementing because I like that I like that, when a Russian Imperial Stout, go big or go home.
Yeah.
The malts are all like,
Absolutely.
we're here.
We're here.
Really, it is delicious, but it
super,
does.
it has.
yeah.
I love the super roastiness. I love the fact that it's not too sweet, although there is a little bit of kind of a milk chocolatey.
It has a little chocolatiness to
front.
it.
Just a little bit, yes.
It has a little bit of like, I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say that you can't. It doesn't taste boozy, because it does. I mean, you can definitely tell that we're talking about at least a 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
We have friends who are joining us today. Dark Persuasion from Icicle. Is that how you pronounce it? Icicle Brewing. Dark Persuasion from Icicle Brewing.
My goodness, that's a good name. Dark Persuasion. That's a great name.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I would definitely drink the Dark Persuasion anytime.
Dark Persuasion, Icicle Brewing. German chocolate ale. Excellent choice. Excellent choice.
Cheers to you.
Oh, cheers to the dark and the Russians and the stout.
Crystal Russian
Skull.
Perfect.
Oh, that is seriously lovely stuff.
I like it.
It's insanely good.
Lovely.
Yeah,
It is. I'm
tastes
glad
like German chocolate cake. Okay, well, what do you want to trade for? 'Cause I will trade anything.
Because German chocolate cake beer, I'm pretty sure that we can make
German
an
chocolate
arrangement
cake
here.
beer.
I'm
We
willing
can
to
make
like. I don't know. I love this
I
stuff.
probably
I
have more
think I would
turnips than we
literally
need.
trade. I would literally trade a boob for German chocolate cake beer.
Don't
Oh, boom.
do
I would-
that.
I would trade a
Because
boob.
then she can be an Amazon and and use her bow with that hand.
That's
is-
true. I do shoot left-handed, so
But just one. I mean, would you feel lopsided? Would you want to get rid of both of them then?
Hey, there's your chicken.
It still needs 20 minutes, but
Yeah.
it's going to be done long before the fish is.
oh my goodness, has it been an hour?
Mhm.
It's been an hour already. Oh man, this is going too fast.
We're going so slow. We're not getting.
Oh,
we have to get
gosh.
all the other
It's just because
recipes done.
it's just because we're trying to do so much.
But that's okay. We do
Look
it
at
like
there.
a feast. We have everything. We're not going to have everything at once anymore. Unless we plan it.
Oh, everybody.
Let me hide.
You get one with Shay before
Mhm.
before the end of the evening.
Yes. I agree.
Do we have a peeler?
No, I'm sorry, I broke mine and I haven't replaced it yet because it's only November.
You could probably.
You want me to cut them?
Yeah.
Might be able. No, you're right. Yeah, that's.
Yes, she does.
Whichever.
Yes, I do.
I thought we had a potato peeler.
No, I broke it.
That's okay. I'll bring one.
I don't think it'll.
I don't think it'll kill us too much if there's still skin on it.
I can probably peel it with a knife.
We just need them loosely chopped so that we can
It could
boil
probably.
them, and then we're gonna mash them anyway.
Could probably be peeled with a knife if it was
I don't even think they need to be peeled, because
There are
more vitamins,
spots on
right?
'em.
Yeah.
If there's any spots, then we want those off.
Linda's got it.
See, I need to cook for myself one of these days. I gotta get here early so we can do all the prep ahead of time.
You're gonna cook for yourself, sweetie.
It's just a couple of spots. It's really nothing. There's really nothing on here that really needs to go.
We need a dress-up episode again soon. Yeah. When are we gonna do the Star Trek one?
Yeah, it would've been
Well,
cool
we
to
need
dress up for
to
this
we need
one,
to do the
but-
beer starting
Man.
next month.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Roman stuff. I mean, probably the
Yeah.
easiest one would be the senators.
January,
That's
yes.
just a sheet.
Well, yeah,
Um,
they're very.
Wrap around.
So
Probably, if I had a
I've
whole
got
bunch
my
of extra,
wig.
if I had a whole bunch of extra sheets, I would have dressed
Yeah,
up today.
okay, just
So
boil
I
it and just
actually don't
chop
have
it
any
loosely and then
extra
put it in a
sheets.
saucepan. I'm thinking
Use some water all the time.
because they just want you to boil it and then mash it and then add the seasonings. So it'll be pretty simple.
Oh, boiling that shouldn't take very long.
No,
What shows up next? Are we doing
I don't know.
Thrones or are we doing World of Warcraft?
what do you want to do?
I don't mind.
We can't do Star Trek until February
Why?
because we got to start the beer next month.
We can't do the
yeah.
Klingon
Yeah,
Star
we need
Trek
to-
anyway.
We need
And
the
I think
Klingon-
that we should wait. And I think we should wait
Well, the Game of Thrones.
we'll start filming it when we
But it
start
might be
brewing the
more
beer.
like
Yeah.
this than World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft might be more like
Well, I picked this one, so one of you guys gets to pick the next one.
I volunteer
World of Warcraft.
1, 2, 3 nodded for the picking. My preference would probably be. My preference would possibly be World of Warcraft, even though I'm really not familiar with it, and I am familiar with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's kind
Just
of
because I think the Game of Thrones is going to be very similar to what we're making.
Well, yeah, we've got
We're not-
because
The only thing
the
is
nice
we're
thing
not gonna
about
bring
World of
up-
Warcraft is they're coming out
No.
with the full. I heard that they're actually
Oh.
Sorry.
Jennifer, this is this for the fish?
No, this is a side dish. It's a turnip side dish. I apologize but we're at this point it's mostly just prep, because we're doing mashed turnips that are going to be flavored with a variety of Roman ingredients. There's a recipe on there, on the main thing, but the recipe that I have calls for turnips to be cooked and the water removed and squeezed free, mashed, and then seasoned with cumin, rue, or laser, or vinegar, depending on your taste, little stock, and condensed wine and oil, and then basically just stirred up with all that over light heat, the way you might finish baked potatoes with butter or butter and milk. So we're just going to start that off now by boiling the turnips.
You want to
Get
do
some
this
water.
or not? No? Of course not.
I think we can video when I add the
After she gets it boiled.
yeah, once I get them boiled, I think we can video it, because I mean this is not all that interesting. All we're doing is boiling some turnips.
We take a picture if you wanted. But
Yeah.
there's, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
you may or may not even want to use
I
it.
probably put too much water in there, but since it's all going to be drained anyway, doesn't matter.
Oh, that's okay. So you want to boil them, right?
Yeah.
Do you want this one?
Do you- I mean, I just don't want us to anyone to
Well,
lean
what
up
else,
into it.
what else are we making? Start.
Just the fish, and I
The
don't
fish
think we
and the
have.
mushrooms. Weren't you going to make the mushrooms?
Oh yeah, I'm going to make the mushrooms.
How are we making?
The mushrooms are fast.
Or I can make
Oh.
the mushrooms since I like to make mushrooms.
You can make the mushrooms. You're the mushroom queen,
I accept this title.
and you can make them. And you can make them anytime you want if you want to eat something else while we're waiting for everything else to finish cooking.
Now I am the mushroom queen. The mushroom queen. Oh, sorry.
If I am the mushroom queen, though, do I have to look out for Mario and Luigi? Is that gonna be an issue? Do I have to be like?
We'll protect you. We'll protect you, fair maiden. The mushroom. This recipe for mushrooms is the simplest recipe that I have ever found in any old-fashioned cooking.
And she's made it for me
and I've
before
made it for her before
because
and it was-
she started to get excited about this Roman recipe almost as soon as she started to find this book. And she was like, I gotta try this Roman recipe for mushrooms. And it is wonderful. We had no issue with it.
fresh
It was
mushrooms are
wonderful.
stewed in reduced wine with a bunch of green coriander which is removed before serving. That is the entire recipe.
So the only thing about it is I forgot the cilantro. So
Yeah, so we're gonna do it with a different herb. But we did it before with red wine, which wouldn't have been the wine they'd have used anyway. And so
and it was
I think
still
that-
delicious.
I think that
Red
we
wine.
can use white wine
And I have quite a bit of it left.
and maybe basil or
Get out
marjoram
of
or
the way
something
here.
like that, and we're going to enjoy
Like-
it just as much.
Yeah.
I think white wine and basil would be fantastic with mushrooms, actually.
Oh yeah.
Oh my, this is going to be.
And coriander doesn't taste like cilantro anyway. I noticed that when I was in when I was in England. It doesn't.
That's because coriander pretty much is cilantro. It's
No.
just the seed of the cilantro.
No, so like no, when I was in England, they don't have cilantro. It's the same plant.
Yeah.
But the green coriander, like the actual herb coriander, not the ground up version
okay.
that you can get in the stores, it doesn't taste the same. It's much milder.
Oh yeah, because the coriander, the ground coriander, is actually the seed of the coriander plant ground up.
No, but what I'm saying is the leaf part
Yeah.
is still milder
Yeah.
than cilantro is.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you try oregano?
Oregano. It comes from Oregon.
His girlfriend told him that you had to say herbs.
Herbs.
Yeah.
I was
Herbs.
I don't know. I kept saying
He
herbs.
said-
I kept
he
saying
said,
herbs.
"Shauna,
kept
do you
saying
wanna
herbs
get
and-
some. Do you want to get some herbs? And Shauna's like,
I said no. I said which fresh herbs do I need? And she said, "Honey, it's herbs. You're in England."
Yeah. You want me to video this?
Yeah.
yes. Oh,
Okay.
video the chicken for sure.
So, whoa. This is really hot.
Steamy, it's steamy.
It's really hot.
Oh,
I take the. Okay.
oh
It's
my
gorgeous.
I'm just taking the lid off, and then I'm going to attempt
That needs
to turn the chicken a little bit and stick it back in the oven. The liquid.
That is gorgeous, and it smells
Oh, it
so
smells
good.
like cumin.
It smells
really
like-
smells like cumin.
It smells like cumin and toasted fennel and or toasted
gonna move this
caraway.
right
No,
over
toasted
the-
caraway.
Yeah, it does. It's This is pretty fantastic.
And it smells like pepper too, which I always love.
beautiful.
It's actually very beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It's
I have to
stunning.
take a photo before I mess it up.
Oh please, I
Please
was
do.
going to do that.
How steamy it. I mean, you could. I really don't. I don't know how this could actually brown. Maybe I used too much liquid. The recipe that I have is not the same recipe that appeared in Epicurus's cookbook. And I used white wine instead of red wine. This is a lot of liquid, and you're supposed to serve it with the liquid, but the chicken is so tender. It's really it's falling apart. It's literally falling apart. Fantastic. Trying to turn this is really difficult. Go. Good. Nope. That's just falling apart. So I'm going to put this back in the oven without the lid for another 20 minutes. I'm actually really glad there's a lot of liquid because I really do want to serve it with the liquid. And the flatbread will sop up a lot of these juices.
Mm.
Come on. Get into the oven. It's your home. You want to go to your home. Here we go. At least another 20 minutes. Oh, it smells so good in here.
It really does. I can't even smell it.
Mm.
It's a-
Sorry, I think I walked into the shot.
Oh no!
Yeah.
He was. He had stopped.
And that's going.
Yeah,
That's
that's
good.
going.
Going and going. And
We didn't have an alarm on the oven
Huge
for the
dinner and
fish,
someone
so I
shut
have no
up.
idea.
the chicken. Here you go. Before
Oh, do the flatbread.
Jen, this is this is
amazing.
flatbread. This is amazing stuff. It was made on the grill with fish sauce. This stuff is probably some of the most amazing bread, and I can totally see why the Romans ate it. And I'm not going to let anybody have any until we eat the chickens. I'm going to be mean. It was really easy, though. I mean, it's literally just like flour, salt, garum.
Fish oil.
Yeah,
Fish sauce.
the garum, the fish sauce, some
Mhm.
salt and a little bit of water, and
Oh.
flatten it out, stick it on the grill, and when it starts to bubble, you take it off, and it's beautiful. It's wonderful hot.
I love the way it looks.
Yeah. I literally want to make this almost every single day of my life from the rest of it from now on.
Well, it's always wonderful when we find these recipes because I
Yeah.
found
want
like
wine.
yeah.
I've got wine every day.
Oh, there's
Wine.
more wine.
One every day.
I should probably strain it again.
that's not done.
Use
Just taking a
Do you
look,
wanna-
but you could, but I can tell, but that salmon's too red on the top.
But then I have to
Don't
put
you
back in something.
Well,
and
actually,
make
I'd like
another-
a second.
But the problem with the coffee filter is it won't filter it fast. Do we have the jugget? The other?
Yeah, it's
the
right.
plasticky one.
washed out of.
Oh, it should be.
The,
Oh, it's in your fridge. It's in your. Don't worry, it's in your.
What are you doing? Filtering the wine again?
Well, I don't need to if Shay doesn't mind. It just to me looks like it could stand like because it's all a lot
But
of that
it's
stuff's
really
on the
it's
bottom.
I mean,
kind of
it's
cool. I kind of want to taste that.
That way.
Hang on. Lift it up. Let's
Yeah, because it's got some saffron down there and some.
actually put it down and I'll get a shot from above.
From up above.
Ah!
Oops. Hey, babes. I'm a little curious, but it's still like it still pours out like it just the part that pours out is still. Oh man, but it smells more.
Cold fire.
The cold fire is so good.
Pretty
isn't it?
pretty cold
Yeah,
fire.
that's so good.
It is. It's really sweet. I can see why they did a sweet drink as an aperitif.
Mhm.
Because
Absolutely.
it kind of it dampens that. Oh my god, I'm hungry.
People,
The Snickers effect.
exactly.
It has the Snickers effect.
Yeah, and the
People
Romans
still
seem to be
use,
very, very fond of honey.
Yeah.
People still use slightly sweet herbal liqueurs as aperitifs, like certain types of vermouths and
Yeah.
or things that are served in France or Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might need a second opinion on the salmon. I can't tell if I because we did not actually have a timer going, so I have no idea how long
Well,
it's
go ahead and
actually
open
been
it
in
and
there.
I'll
if you can look in there and say, "Oh, I'm not sure."
actually
Let's,
close it for a second.
let's get an oven mitt. I know I can get an oven mitt.
I want to pull it out just a little bit.
Because to me, the red on the edge of that fish just looks too red. It doesn't look like it's cooked. But there,
flaky,
that actually
though.
looks like it might be cooked.
Yeah, you go ahead and do
I
it.
think it actually
You think it's cooked?
it could be. Well, I mean,
No, that's
That's pretty
based on the
standard.
that's still
based-
raw.
based on the 10. Yeah, you're not
Yeah,
getting
let's
anything.
at least
Not yet.
let's give it another 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That's it,
it's
yeah.
going to need at least that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll actually set an
So
alarm this time.
I was
end
wrong
is-
there. Yeah.
All right, thank you, love. I'm going to actually set an alarm for this. Let me get my phone. I am sorry to leave you, our lovely viewers.
Nice one. Need some biscotti for dessert.
Biscotti.
Here's our biscotti.
Ha!
Oh,
The
better
boot-
just
the
not-
boot-
Salado.
The Bucciatellum? Yes. Just drizzle some chocolate on that, and you'll be all good.
It'll be all good to ruin your teeth in no time flat.
Well, I know. I mean, like, you could actually dip that in espresso. It'd probably be a heck of a lot better than just water.
Well, oh yeah, actually, there we go.
Oh yeah, dip it in the beer. Dip it in the
There
beer.
we go.
Is there more? I want to try this.
Oh, there's tons more.
I need a timer though. Timer.
The only problem is it takes about an hour to soak.
Cook short in with the turnip.
Throw it with the yeah, we could throw some.
Yeah, throw it in with the boiling turnips. Yeah.
What? Oh,
No. I want to. No, you don't have to soak it for an hour. Just like soak it a little bit. Just like. I'm gonna soak it in. I'm gonna soak it in this way. Just for the heck of it.
Just put Busladum in everything. Busladum, all the things.
no, actually, in the sweet wine, that might actually end up tasting okay.
It does actually.
I'm gonna let mine soak for a good long time if I can keep from
I'm
taking
curious.
sips. Oh, that's gonna kill me.
The saltiness actually kind of does something when you add it to the sweet wine.
Yeah.
It's okay with the sweet wine.
I probably should get a fork and make sure I know when that's done, but it won't be long.
Fork.
That's not even close.
No, the turnip takes a while.
That's why I thought maybe I
Well-
should start it before the fish, but the fish is so huge it's taking longer than I thought too.
Shall we do another beer then?
We're gonna have the chicken first, and then we're gonna have the fish. We're gonna have 2 dinners. It's gonna be like a Roman style meal.
Is
Well,
it weird
you
that
know,
when you
like
say
Roman-
the chicken and then the fish, I go straight to airplane?
No,
Is that-
but please don't anyone go to the bathroom and evacuate in order to make room for the next course. Romans did that.
It's a hell of a day to stop drinking.
I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue. And don't call me Shirley.
Well, it's a big building with patience, but that's not important right
Now.
All right, shall we? Let's do the one that is the least Roman of all the beers we're gonna taste today.
The least Roman.
The least
Roman.
Roman. Just a moment, me.
I actually have a glass of it.
Oh, that didn't need to be rinsed, but
Thank you for rinsing my glass.
Okay.
I'm so used to
Everybody
tasting it
ready?
that I don't even worry about it
All right.
most of the time.
it's the anniversary of Leslie. Oh no, it is. Oh,
We didn't know.
how appropriate though to make some really good jokes on the date of Leslie Nielsen's death. Leslie, we miss you.
We miss you so much.
This is a freaking treasure. Freaking treasure. I love Leslie Nielsen.
Alrighty. Again, I have to let them introduce it because I have no idea what it is.
Okay. I don't know what it is either.
I guess
This
we're
is
about,
all on Francesca.
we're
We
about
are
to find
we are
out.
entirely at Francesca's
Shall we
mercy.
drink it? Shall we attempt it first before
Sure.
she tells us what it is?
Why don't you drink it first?
Let me start.
So, mystery beer. Shall we attempt this before Francesca actually tells us what it is?
Why not? Why
Why
don't
not?
you taste it and tell me what you think you're tasting?
Well, it doesn't have a super strong hop nose to it, but it does have a very mild floral nose. Smells slightly
Yes, floral. Definitely IPA.
mid amber color.
Definitely IPA. There's plenty of hops in it.
I'm not gonna say anything until they're done.
It's definitely hoppy.
Oh, very nicely hoppy. I've got that the runner feeling along the side. I have the hops along the sides of my tongue, and then like right across the middle of my tongue, I have like orange peel dry. This
Super dry. There's
Yeah.
a dry aftertaste.
This is definitely a Francesca IPA.
Super fine white. Oh.
Super Francesca beer.
In many, many ways. This is the Ninkasi Tricera hops. What you're tasting. It is a double IPA. It's a triple IPA?
It's a double IPA.
Double?
About 8%.
Tricera hops, man.
It was originally a little bit higher. They did take it down a little bit in recent years, but it's still utterly delicious.
And it is, I just love the dryness of it. I love the orange sort of, but then the bitter on the back is just very nice. It comes in, it's not like overwhelmingly bitter to start with.
You know what I really love about Ninkasi?
And it's not going to kill your palate.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
You know what I really love about Ninkasi beers is that they are fantastic to cook with. For some reason, the hops that they're using in their high hopped beers go really well with things like pan fried steak
Oh, yum.
and beef and lamb,
Mm.
which was a Roman favorite.
I know,
Lamb
I
was a
almost
Roman
did-
favorite.
I almost did a lamb recipe. I just
So-
wanted to use the
Yeah.
Lazar, and I didn't know you were doing something that was going to use it.
And I just want to do a quick plug on this beer as well. This is the 28th. We've only got 2 days left of it. But Ninkasi Brewing and Nectar Creek Mead have been doing a thing called Funds for Firefighters all the week of November. And so any keg that you buy of theirs, $20 goes toward a charitable fund that isn't it's for firefighters, but it's also for the firefighters to be able to give back to the community. So they use it often to help people rebuild if they have lost their homes or lost to fires and things like that. So this money is going to a really, really good cause, and this is a really, really good beer. So I'm just saying.
Well, cheers, Ninkasi.
Cheers,
Good
Ninkasi.
on you for
Ninkasi.
helping to support our communities. Oh, really delicious.
It's sure yummy, and it is a Francesca beer. You're absolutely right about that.
It is definitely Francesca beer. No question about that.
Very much the least Roman we've had, but
Absolutely. I mean, this is,
still wonderful.
all that hop, and
Yeah.
Romans didn't probably use a lot of hops, so
Really good though. Really good.
you're getting there.
Getting there.
Okay. She's getting
You
there.
can start the mushrooms if you want. I mean, we can have the mushrooms. I mean, I think that chicken's going to be done pretty soon. So we can have the chicken and then have and the bread and then have a second course.
It is brownie.
And then have a third course with the with the fish
What else?
and the
Yeah.
and
And
the
that
So
was-
crust.
basically, I would be reducing the wine right now. Is what I would be doing. Because fresh mushrooms are stewed in reduced wine with a bunch of green coriander. So basically, you'd get the wine and the bunch of green coriander and reduce it down, and then you stew the mushrooms in it.
Yep.
Afterward.
And we
Coriander, is that what you needed?
yeah, but it does call for the green stuff, so it's they mean
Yeah.
the leaves. They mean like cilantro.
We
So I
could do
think
it in
we could
parsley
Well, I
or
mean, we
we
do
could do it
have
in parsley or
coriander.
sage.
Mhm. We have I have leaves. I have sage leaves.
I do too.
And I
have,
was thinking you could do it with parsley or basil, and either of those would actually.
Mine are guaranteed organic.
Basil would be good with white wine. That's
Oh, you
all
wanna do
I'm
basil?
saying.
I think Jen wants to do
Basil's
basil.
good.
Basil?
Basil, yeah.
Wouldn't basil be good with white wine?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Basil is always good with white wine. But I don't want to. We've got a lot of dishes going on. I don't want to dirty all your dishes in your house.
We're going to
I
clean
didn't
them
apologize.
all. We're going to help you
That's very
clean
close to
them.
an apology.
I didn't. It wasn't an
Very
apology.
close to apology.
Yeah, I got, there's one rule for
Dishes
you
are
tonight,
mint.
Missy.
Dishes are meant to be
How about
used.
that? I think that will.
All right, let's
You can use
let me
any
open the.
cooking utensil or
So,
pan
so
or
what
multiple
do,
that
are,
you
do
need.
you want? Do you want to? Are you going to use more of that wine, or do you want me to open the spumante?
Do you want to open this spumante? This,
We're
I
gonna
mean,
taste it at some point.
I can. I hope you guys like white wine.
So I heard you like.
Shall I
you
sing the
white
Ray
wine.
song?
Yes, sing, sing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we're not even. I need to. Get
Oh,
this
I'm
open.
ready
That's
for this.
okay.
I'm ready for that.
Reunited 'cause it feels so good.
Even though I know it's not Reuniti, but it's still Spumante. Love it. I know Reuniti makes Spumante. What are we using this in?
We're cooking it with the mushrooms, and
Mushrooms.
we're probably gonna eat it too. Gonna drink it
You're
too.
gonna eat it.
We're gonna eat it.
I've
right out of the
never
bottle.
done mushrooms in sparkling wine, so that will be really interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
this
don't know
has
why
one
I
of
picked
those.
sparkling.
You know, I'm. When you guys are, I'm gonna be over here.
You're afraid of losing an eye.
And
I just need a.
She's
Don't
very
worry.
good at it, actually.
She's
She's
point
been
it back.
bartending
Don't
for
point
years.
it this way.
She's been
Promise.
bartending for years and years and
Promise.
years and years.
You have nothing to worry about.
Look, ever since I was the one
Nothing
who
to
got
worry
picked to be a
about
pitcher on a
from
base,
me.
I got picked to be a pitcher on a baseball team, and it did not turn out well.
If anyone has an empty glass, they can taste that and see what they think of it.
For this, I will get an empty glass. Oh,
Let's get your heat on me.
So other than being sparkling, I picked this because it is probably the
Moscato.
closest
Moscato.
thing to what Romans would be
Ooh.
drinking. It is an Italian sweet wine, a Moscato.
and I happen to think I'm one of those plebes who think that Moscato is probably one of the nicest wines ever produced on this entire
Yes.
earth. I beg people at bars to carry Moscato. It's terrible. Oh, but I've never had a bubbling one. I usually have, like the barefoot Moscato.
This is a barefoot Moscato. It's the barefoot
The
Moscato
bubbling.
Spumante. It's the bubbly version.
Ooh, the Spumante is very nice. Ooh, I could drink bottles of this.
Well, it's not expensive. Oh, you want some? Let me get. Oh, yes.
I was just getting my stuff ready to.
I know.
If we're going for realism, and we are, this is actually very much like a Roman kitchen,
Mhm.
because as I watched in some of the documentaries,
Roman kitchens look like this.
Roman kitchens were actually not very
they're
big.
messy and full of.
They were
People-
full. Yeah, they were full of food. They were full of people, and they had very small cooking areas in which to prepare items that were actually being
Massive
cooked.
feasts.
Wow.
The areas where they ate was much larger because they ate on the rich ate on couches, laying, you know, on their sides, popping food in their mouths, or having their servants do it for them because they were unable to feed themselves.
Yeah.
Here, Matt, have some grapes.
So I'm gonna say something kind of. I think to me, this tastes a lot like the wine I made.
No, I think
It
the
smells
wine.
like it.
the-
It
well,
doesn't have
the one you made has that beautiful.
No, it doesn't have the herbs. It doesn't.
Herbal.
Yeah, it doesn't have the herbal quality to it, but it has that honey. You do get that sense of like. It has a
texturally,
a
it is
tec- it has a
very
very-
similar.
It
Yes.
has a very honey taste to it, and like crisp apple honey that goes with a grape.
I
you
agree.
know?
I agree with that. Would you agree with that,
I haven't tasted it yet.
Chris?
Yeah.
I've got too many.
Oh,
I've got too many
She's got
glasses
too
over
many
here.
glasses.
here, have another glass.
I always wind up with like 4 glasses before these things are done, and I feel like such a like. I don't even know what to do with myself. Well, this is so tart, though. I mean, I think maybe
Oh,
it's
way
the
more-
bubbliness, but
Way more tart than what I made. Absolutely,
Okay,
I'm not
'cause I
arguing that.
just took a sip of yours, and then I took a sip of this, and it's much darker.
Oh, I'm not arguing that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
your
Fish.
That's the fish alarm.
that is the fish alarm. It may or may not mean the fish is actually done, but it is the fish alarm.
You know, something that would be really weird. This wine would actually be really good. If
I
you
would drink
soaked-
that wine though.
if you soak
sorry.
chia seeds in it and
I
put
just
it
don't want to hurt your
over
fucking
ice cream.
Right on my
No, you're
injured
right.
foot.
I know I was worried about this.
It's okay.
No.
It's okay. She's so sweet.
Okay. Oh,
It tripped her for her injured foot.
It's really not a big deal. I could be wearing shoes if I was.
Ristretto di Moscato, pretty blue bottle. Is that's not the Blue Nun, is it?
It might be.
Oh, wait. Are you taking it out or just testing it?
we're testing it.
Well, you can see from where you poked it last time.
Do you want to?
It's way okay. So that was way more.
That's looking good.
That looked way
That
better.
looks a lot more cooked. Does it?
Yeah,
Do you think it's cooked yet, though?
it's cooked.
I'm
It would
gonna-
be like cooked enough for Dave Pittman, but I
I'm
don't know
gonna-
if it's cooked
I'm
enough for
gonna
us.
argue.
Taste it.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
I want other people's opinion, not mine.
You're the chef.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
argue
I
that
eat
I
salmon
think it.
raw, so
I'm
Oh,
gonna
you're
argue
right.
that I
You
think
weren't
it
the
needs a
person to
little more.
ask. But I mean, if it was sushi, great. I would eat it raw too. Oops.
I think.
no
It's
longer.
I think.
No, it's done.
It's done. Okay, let me grab
No,
another.
no, we're gonna need to
May I?
find a place to put it.
It's okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna.
I can put it here.
It's all right there.
I can put it here.
All right.
Can somebody move mine? Is that mine?
It's mine. I can tell because it says Clay 52.
Yes, we need to put this here so that we can take photos.
Yes. And then we'll add
It's
the rest
really
of it
pretty,
to
too.
it. I will turn your oven off, also to save you.
I'm sorry, Jen. I didn't. Right behind you.
And please don't anybody touch that except for Sorcerer Zero.
There you go, Jen. Whole fish. Now, do we need this moved out of the pan after Monsieur takes photos?
Yes,
Oh, your
actually, I think
turnips
what
are
would be a good
totally
idea to do, and my sort of plan for it would
Mhm.
be actually to cut it into portions that we want to eat it in,
Oh, I'm
Um,
sorry.
You're fine.
and then
I'm
dress
just
it.
turning the turnips down.
Oh, okay. Well,
Because
we'd rather
otherwise
do
it's gonna be
that.
because otherwise it's gonna be
I
such
know.
a pain.
we can put it in the glass pan.
What I was thinking is we could move the pan into your sink and carve it on the cutting board and then wash the cutting board.
Well, if it doesn't fall apart, yeah. That's
Because I just want to get us some decent sized fillets over the top of the bacon with the condiments and everything, and then we'll have what we want. I think your chicken is almost done too. So I mean,
yeah, it's just sitting there waiting,
So I mean,
waiting and waiting and waiting. It's okay.
I don't want it to. I don't
Would
want.
somebody please dry this?
Yes.
We don't have to wait. We don't have to wait
Yes.
for the fish to do your chicken. We could also just leave the fish there with some foil or a towel over the top of it and do the chicken next.
Oh, if you like.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's
The chicken's
foil,
done.
the
Let's do
foil
it.
in there.
The chicken's done. Let's do it.
Shall I put it away or did you want it?
Okay.
Second.
There is no second one.
Fish doesn't really have to be super hot, so
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about it. I'm just putting this here for the sake of argument. Oh, looks like
Are we arguing over it?
wow.
Do you want?
I bet when this is done, all the water is just going to evaporate into them, and that's why they say squeeze the water out
Oh yeah.
as part of mashing. Oops. And those are so dumb.
All right.
Get that out of everybody's way again.
All right. Yeah. So I'm going to turn the oven off here too,
Okay.
because those are done.
Okay.
But I think we're
But
gonna
I
do.
didn't-
But I want us to do the chicken first. So
Well, I'm gonna move the bottle.
and, is this it's my cell phone. I was just using it for a for the
okay.
timer alarm.
Oh, okay. I'm just
I'll just put it right
moving
here.
stuff out of everybody's way.
And we both have a tendency to leave our phones here. so
And
it's a little-
we're gonna.
I'm not gonna leave my phone.
What I'm gonna actually do is I'm gonna move this on top of the toaster,
This is burners.
That's fine.
Don't worry about
It doesn't matter.
and then I'm going to put this on the cutting board so that we can take photos. Because this
Let me get the
this is
out of the
oh
way.
my god amazing.
Doesn't it look gorgeous?
Oh my goodness.
Mr. Photographer. You know, I don't even know whose glass is whose anymore.
I'm keeping track of mine.
You're the only one that needs to. All the rest of
Exactly.
us can just swap. as we see
Exactly.
fit.
That's exactly right.
Oh, that's right. One, two, three, four. I need another fork. 3, 4.
Ooh, lovely.
One more. Focus. Bread. All right. Require a shrubbery.
So pretty.
Right. Would somebody please be the sacrificial lamb and take this to Talon's room, knock on his door?
Yeah.
goodness gracious.
Don't give us too much. We've got so much food.
Oh yeah, I know. One. Oh, you a fork? Even though we're not really supposed to be eating with forks. Okay, he needs to eat. Wake him up.
Smells so good. Oh man, the leeks. The way the taste is just so good. Thank you.
Okay.
Smell that's amazing.
This doesn't smell at all like I thought it was going to.
It smells and tastes exactly like I thought it was going to. It's delicious. You know, those leeks are amazing. And that chicken, oh, I'm like dying over here. Oh, how good this is. Oh, yeah, and the wine is simmering like crazy. You might want to turn it down while we eat.
Let's reduce
I
though.
guess it is supposed to reduce, so I guess you can.
The point is that it reduces to half.
Oh, fair enough.
Otherwise, I'm gonna have a lot of wine.
Come on.
I hate it when we leave the room while we're live streaming. But I guess I could stay on screen and eat and like rub it into everybody how good what we're eating is.
Prosecco is always very nice if you like the sweet. Yes, Prosecco is good.
These flavors are so so good.
Here you go, Jen.
Unusual. Not used to it
Chicken.
at all.
Oh, wow.
Flavors that I'm like.
This is really good.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. It's
Like-
so tender.
And got a sweetness to it.
The spices are not. You don't expect them.
Mm-hmm.
And like it doesn't taste fishy at all. Even with 2 whole, tablespoons and the wine is.
I love this bread. This is going to be a regular thing for us.
And it's so easy.
And the bread goes in. It really matches.
I mean, that's probably why they tell you to serve it with some of the liquid is the bread.
Not much going on. There's a little bit of that licorice from the caraway. There's
The sweetness of the dates.
Yep. Oh, there was a date right there. Just gotta bite up. So tender.
Okay, I'm getting back on camera.
Mm.
We're gonna be somewhat. We gotta be on camera while we make everyone feel jealous that they don't get to taste
Sorry.
this.
In order to have it's by Tuesday, right? In order to have Tuesday noms, you have to come to us because we record here. Unless you can find a way to convince us to come up there to have plenty of beer.
There's usually leftovers. They could definitely bring them to you.
We could just go up
if you
there
spoil them
You
appropriately.
can record up there, but yeah, you definitely have to convince us. And
A brewery tour of Seattle would be good.
oh yeah, a Seattle brewery tour. And I would not say no to cooking in a brewery kitchen.
this bread is so good. I feel like it. Do you think it's maybe like the precursor of like a flour tortilla?
I think they were actually. I mean, flatbread is one of the breads that were made even in Egypt far before this.
Oh yeah.
But I think the Romans were the first to use the garum,
Mm-hmm.
you know, actually in the recipe itself.
Yeah, to season it in this way.
I would love to try this with lamb.
The same recipe, just with lamb.
The flatbread with a
Oh,
with a
flatbread.
lamb, yeah, the flatbread with a lamb recipe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll find you a lamb recipe for next time we do this.
And I actually don't really need. I actually don't really need a fork because the
good.
flatbread holds up the liquid so well.
It really does.
I love that bread.
You can just dip it in, but then you can just hold on.
You can
to it.
hold on to it. You can pick up pieces of chicken with it.
Don't really need a fork.
Although Romans always ate with their right hands, I eat with my left.
We're lefties. We can't help it.
Did that come from the Middle East or something?
Yeah.
I
That's
think
just
so.
because people used to.
You wipe your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when
don't have
the
toilet
Romans
paper.
generally when the
Yeah.
Romans dined, they leaned on their left side and ate with their right hands. It was considered good for the digestion.
Or else that was a polite way of putting it.
Yeah.
Or else it was a toilet paper thing.
Yeah. This is so good.
But again, the
so
Romans
good.
weren't, you know, I mean, they bathed in public.
If Jen and Josh ever comes on, we can do a brewing show.
Oh yeah, we could definitely do a brewing show with you guys. That fantastic. Especially now that I've got the big ring.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Could do a whole full 5-gallon batch. Mm-hmm.
Gosh, this is wonderful.
And stop this for a while. Which is good. And I managed to get it, you know, as Jane was eating there, I managed to get it completely zoomed in just in the mouth area. It was for about 10 minutes. It was really cool.
It's so clearly filming.
Yeah, we haven't told you yet how we actually make our money. These are actually fetish videos.
Oh.
We sell them.
Chewing.
Chewing fetishes. And,
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, your bare feet would be fantastic. That'd be great. We could sell pictures of your feet like crazy.
Okay. I just want a little bit of.
She wants a cut.
It's only going to
the
take.
profits.
It's only going to take us like what 5 years to
Yeah, yeah.
to actually get enough YouTube fetish views.
Yeah.
Just send them to Quentin Tarantino. It'll be fine.
And that's before we get booted off YouTube.
That's because Trump wants his cut.
Uh,
I want a cut of everything.
Well, all of these
Otherwise,
shows
it's
are-
fake
are,
news.
all of
Fake
these
shows.
all of
Aren't
these
we-
shows are a
aren't we,
rehearsal for Trump's impeachment.
Yeah.
Aren't
we
we
have to
just
do is
incredibly
thank Trump
ungrateful
for something.
Yeah, thank him for something.
If I can be a part of Trump's impeachment, just tell me how. You can have my video.
Well, we're not afraid. We're gonna get all these like negative comments. And,
Ah.
No, I don't think
Fake
there's actually that many
news.
Trump supporters.
Very
out
good
there.
entertainment is fake news.
There
Or,
are
or
some.
at least the Trump supporters don't know what the internet is. So
Yeah.
Oh,
They've
thank
never heard of
goodness.
Well, they do. They just don't. Maybe they don't find us because they'll be. They would
Yeah.
look at something
I mean,
about
if
culture
Trump
and
tweeted
fear.
about us and said nasty things about us, that would be so.
We earned so
Our-
much money.
Our fault. Our hits would be.
Yeah.
What you're saying is you'd be really happy if it happened.
We're really happy.
I really would have no problem with it. I think I'm ready for my mushrooms, so I have to wash my hands.
Well, I'll mash and spice the turnips, and then we might want to. And then we can do the mushrooms, and then we can finish up the fish.
Yep.
And hopefully, we can all actually eat that much.
Not promising anything about how much I can eat.
Small amount. There'll be a lot of stuff.
You can just take a nibble off anything that you like.
And we'll
It's
just
a
have
Roman
leftovers.
Feast. It's a Roman feast. You have to stuff
Yeah.
yourself until you can.
No, we are not going into the. We are not going into the purging. Okay.
No.
That is not. Ew.
didn't say-
Oh God, she said the word. Oh, that's awful.
No, we're not doing it.
That's a real word.
I know it's a real word, but it's so bad.
Okay, I just need to. Oh, they're already. She got them already cut. So
Okay, we'll start recording again.
okay.
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You already explained the mushroom recipe.
I have to do the
Yeah.
turnips too, but you go ahead and do the mushrooms first.
Do you want? Do the turnips first.
No.
No, this is gonna be.
Yeah,
Look,
do
they're
this.
already cut up. It'll be perfect.
But you won't tell them before I'm not awful.
Turnips, baby, turnips.
Don't film until I'm finished eating.
Well, that's why.
And I also need like
That's
a
why I
masher of
was
some
gonna
kind. Why don't you do it?
Okay, I will then. But I do need to steal a spoon.
There are several spoons.
Do
Spoon?
you have a potato
Check.
masher? Spoon?
Yes, we do have a potato masher.
I can do it in the background while she's talking to the.
That'll do.
You're insanely awesome. You know that, right?
Am I?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I'm just going to. Does anybody know which one is mine?
Doesn't matter. I think that one is. I think these ones are mine.
And I am ready.
Anybody see my phone?
Yeah, let me get a.
Okay, and I'm out. I'm out.
Let me get a potato
By the
masher.
way.
Potato masher. real
Oh,
quick.
here.
The draw.
Second drawer over.
Second drawer. This one.
This one. Yes. 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 No. No. Yes. 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 No.
No.
No, no.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Love
you.
that. I love that TV show.
Darling,
It's my favorite. I love that show so much.
I'm just gonna be.
Okay. I think that little guy is adorable. Anyway, moving on.
In the background.
Are we ready?
Yeah, you're on. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. We've been on for a while. Okay, so as Strategos pointed out, this is like the easiest recipe ever. We have our wine, which we are reducing in herbs, in this case basil, and we're just gonna simmer in some sliced mushrooms and get that sauteed down to nice consistency, and then I'll be pulling the basil out, and after that it's all done. So it's very simple. It's It's very clean. You can absolutely add pepper if you want to. I don't think the Romans would have an issue with that. Since they like to liberally pepper. So yeah, I'm just gonna let this soak up that wine and herb mixture. And then we will try it. You want to trade? I will
Sure.
squish it more.
Well, you think that you think I didn't do a good enough job?
That's not true. I like squishing things. I think you did a beautiful job.
I thought it was about ready to add the seasonings and heat it up and mix it up and then squish it again.
The Roman lady of the house hears cooking sounds. This is acceptable.
Yay!
Yay!
Are you bringing your stola in?
If I knew what a stola was.
What Roman ladies wore.
All right, I'm gonna get out of the way while that sautés, and you're gonna explain the
Turnips.
next step on the turnips.
All right, so need cumin. Cumin. I think it's you guys don't have roux. I wasn't even planning on using
No, I
it.
don't have roux. I have cumin seed.
Because we have
Do
to.
you need cumin seed is in a tub right there, the one you're grabbing. Cumin
Because
seed.
we have to bear our roux with the difference.
No, you have to
Oh.
wear your roux with the difference.
Do you require powdered roux, my lady?
If you had any, I would totally go for it. But honestly, my understanding is that it's somewhat bitter. So, oh wait,
I can powder it if you want.
but you don't have roux.
No, the cumin.
Oh, the cumin. No. This is fine. Well, actually, no. They wouldn't. When they wouldn't.
Yes.
No. They said a good amount of cumin. I'm trying to think of what I'm gonna do for roux.
I don't remember what roux tastes like. I'm sorry.
My memory is that it's bitter. I think I'm gonna use a little rosemary.
I do have rosemary powder.
Would you rather have it powdered already than use those?
No, I'm just gonna
leaves?
use a teeny bit because it just calls for a teeny bit.
Okay.
That's it. You don't think it's a teeny bit? Well, I won't put all of it.
No, that's lovely.
Because there isn't very much. here.
Smells delightful.
Delightful. Lazer stock. Is my stock still out? Yeah, my stock is still out. And wine and oil. Okay. Excellent. So we can do this. Let's turn the, I'm going to turn the heat back on. And we can start anytime. Oh, we're already on the, oh, we're on. Oh, yeah, we're on. Sorry.
He's gonna edit out the middle bits.
Well, hello. So the turnips are already smashed and cooked and mashed, and basically the recipe originally just said squeezed of its water, but I noticed that as the turnips were actually cooking, they actually soaked up all the water that was in the pan. And then as it was mashed, that allowed it to be mashed. And so, I mean, you can drain any water that comes out as you're mashing it if there is a lot of water, but we don't really have that right now. We actually just kept cooking it. So I'm just going to spice it right now. So it called for seasoning it with a good amount of cumin. This is cumin, and it is actually the kind of cumin the Romans would be using. They might have crushed it in a mortar, but it wasn't actually specified that it was crushed in a mortar, so I'm just going to assume that they wouldn't. So I'm just going to season it with some cumin. And you are hearing the sound as it heats up because we're heating it up just like we would do mashed potatoes as we are seasoning them. A little rue. So I don't have rue, so I'm going to use rosemary. I'm going to use a little teeny bit of rosemary here. The lazer that we made earlier. Stock. Wash this again. I'm putting about as much stock in as I would milk if this were mashed potatoes. And then a little teeny bit of olive oil. But seriously, when I say a little teeny bit, I actually mean a little teeny bit. I have a really notoriously heavy hand with oil, and I don't want to go overboard this time. So, having put all of that in there, I'm just going to mix it, crumble it all up again, Oh, that smells amazing. I don't know if this is the best thing I could be using to mix this, but, oh, that is too hot. That's too hot. But it's actually frying it a little bit, which I think could actually taste really nice. Considering that it's being heated right now. My hand is basically being scalded as I'm trying to stir it.
You want me to hold it for you?
No, I just
If you need a spoon, there are spoons in the drawer too.
I just think that I need to. I actually think that at this point,
Yeah, I think a spoon would help you.
I think at this point we gotta just take it off the heat.
Wow. Something like that might help you.
Yeah, that would probably have helped me a long time ago. Sorry. No, it's not your fault. It's my fault for being silly. But it smells amazing. I mean, you can smell the cumin. You can smell the...
It does smell amazing.
You can smell the lazer, sort of pesto. It
I-
smells like a sort of... What would you like?
May I suggest
Yes?
that you might want a little more stock?
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just because you said you want to use about as much as you would use in a mashed potato, and I don't think in a mashed potato, I think you didn't make it. So, just to help it all mush up together. Just
We
my
are
suggestion.
all incredibly good cooks, and we all know different things about. But then I might need to heat this up a little bit because now I've got it down so far that
Yeah, and hopefully I didn't screw you up. Just be my
the
suggestion.
stock isn't actually cooking and it's getting all soupy. But there we go.
I just personally always find that you need more milk than you think you do.
Yeah, but these aren't potatoes, so
I know.
I actually think this is exactly the way I want them to look right now.
Good.
So
They smell amazing. They smell gorgeous.
I mean, they're not they're I don't know how pretty they are, but they smell amazing, and I
Oh,
think they're
yes,
going to taste
absolutely.
delicious.
I agree that the smell coming from that is so delicious.
It smells like, ooh, the smell of that Lazare, I think.
Seriously savory. It's
I think that's what it is.
So she's going to finish those mushrooms
I
while,
think the mushrooms are pretty much done. I'm just gonna.
and then I'll finish the salmon, and we'll have dinner.
I'm
our
just
next course.
gonna take this basil out of here.
And then we've got a couple more dessert beers to try. At least one.
Since that's what they want me to do, I wouldn't mind eating the basil. But gotta go with the recipe. But what's really interesting here is the color that this wine has turned.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that kind of interesting?
Oh, look at that. That's fantastic.
It's like almost looks like an oil kind of soaking in that beautiful flavor.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of mushrooms were those?
This was a medley. It's a mix of brown mushrooms, oyster mushrooms, and shiitake mushrooms.
Oh, wonderful. So there should be a range of textures.
Yes. I was
Absolutely.
actually trying to get creamy mushrooms because they would be the most common, like just sort of meaty mushrooms that would be used in, that come from Italy that might have been used in Roman food. But I couldn't, so I went with this, and I really think this is going to taste delicious for us.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't it look and taste delicious?
Oh my gosh,
Are we ready to
Did
serve?
you taste it?
I haven't tasted it. I just smelled it. It was amazing.
The whole smell of
We're
fish
not
is
quite
just
ready
making
to
me
serve. We have to
salivate.
finish. We actually have to finish the
Okay.
the
the
salmon
fish.
first.
Yes.
There we go. All right. So
So what we should do is we should butcher off small pieces of the salmon that we like.
well, you wanted to move the salmon to the cutting board, right?
It doesn't matter, but probably.
Whichever way that you would like to do it is.
I think
is
it'd be
great.
easier to butcher it on the cutting board
Okay.
because there's so much here. We're only going to want a couple ounces.
Okay.
Each. So
this portion for you and this portion for me.
exactly.
I am.
And then
I am a fish.
and then our producer and Francesca can have the other side.
Did we get a shot of the fish yet?
I think so.
That's pretty amazing.
No, you wait. Let's put the bacon in it first.
Oh yeah. And I
Actually,
can always make the other half of the bacon.
So they were probably thinking with this recipe of using tiny fish where each fish would be an individual portion, which is why I'm thinking we'll put the bacon underneath and then lay the fillet over the top of it.
Okay. Did you want
Or even just put the bacon over the top of it.
Did you want to cut off a slice?
I think that we should actually fillet it. I think we should actually take the top fillet and just eat it normally the way you would normally eat a fish. So, because, see, I'm not really super good at butchering fish, but
So let me get the glass out of your way. Here you go. You look like you do fine to me.
But you just want to
Oh, there we
get
go.
that beautiful. Yeah, want to get this. Ooh. And the skin has actually become super. Ooh. Very good job.
It's okay.
I promise I will clean that up off of your
Oh,
floor.
it's okay.
But yeah, so someone can have this. That's way more than anyone. That's probably 2 people's portion. But basically, what I was trying to show was that the outside has actually come straight off, and that
It's
is-
just come away. It's come away from the bones.
these are both actually probably 2 people's portions for the amount of food that we want. And I mean, we can always come back for more.
Oh yeah.
Just lift the bone right out.
Yeah, you can, because you can absolutely lift this bone right out.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Fantastic. Don't throw that away.
I won't.
Don't. Hang on.
It's still got too much damn.
You can put it back in that bowl.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, okay. And Linda doesn't have to worry
There you
about finding more stuff for it.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, we're gonna take some of those onions out and use them to garnish the fish, but I think we need a couple more bowls because I think both of the because I think this one may need a little bit more added to it to be 2 pieces, but this one is definitely 2 pieces.
So, whichever way you'd like to trim it, whichever way you'd like to trim it
Yeah,
up.
let me this. I think because I think we want to look at about maybe 4 ounces. Like,
Okay.
I'm cutting this up a little bit badly, but actually that's plenty for me anyway. But this one. Yeah, I think I'll actually just take the crispy skin out from the bottom as
Okay.
well. So we'll just take this one.
Okay.
And I think I'll get this person a little bit more salmon because there's so much more salmon. That might be more than they want. Might be more than anyone else has. I don't know. There's so much salmon. All right. So I'm
Now
going to
we
dress
dress
it now.
it, right?
Now I'm going to dress it. And are we live?
Yeah.
All right. So you'll just have to edit that later. So where's the bacon? Oh, here's the bacon.
There's the bacon.
So normally, I think that they were looking at using tiny little fish, which would be individual portions, but because we don't have individual little portions, I'm going to cut up the bacon, and I'm going to lay it over the top rather than underneath. Give everyone about a piece of bacon. You don't have to hold them all out for me. But you are amazing, and I love you. Needs more salmon. We don't have to eat all of this. Nobody has to eat all of what is put on their plate. I just want to make sure they're all about even. All right. Okay. Now, we actually get back to the traditional recipe. The traditional recipe called for filling the fish with the bacon. Then it called for...
You know, I'm gonna go back where I was so that I'm out of the way.
Oh, it's okay. You're fine. a dash of vinegar, so I'm just gonna. You do not have to hand each of these out to me for being amazing. Ah! That was probably a dash of vinegar. Probably more than a dash.
I'll take it.
That'll be you. There's a dash. There's a dash. Oh, I can smell the bacon and the. There's a dash.
The fish actually smells really good.
And then some saffron, which not saffron, some savory, which apparently we actually have.
We do. It's right there.
A bit of savory. I can actually. You have to hold on. Oh, this is badass though. It's really funny. Savory. And the onions had actually cooked under. So. Oh no. Ooh.
Beautiful.
No, that was enough. Yep. And now we can dish up our mushrooms and our turnips and try this out. And there's a whole half of fish here for whoever wants leftovers.
We can maybe take some home with us. I don't think I'm going to be able to eat more once this plate is complete.
Well, I will let you.
Well, thank you. Let me get my.
Well, you said you wanted the one with a lot of vinegar on it.
I did. Which is the one with a lot of vinegar?
It's that one.
Okay. I'll also take a good portion of mushrooms.
Of course you will.
There we go. The forks.
I'll just put this down
The
somewhere.
forks are right there in the glass to your right. Right there.
I'll take this one if you want to
Okay.
dish up you and Shay. Although you'll find the one that you think
I'll make this the
you'll find the one that
photographic plate.
that you think looks the prettiest and make it the
I don't know.
photograph
This
plate.
is kind of gorgeous. Which one is prettiest?
I've got the photographic plate over here.
Linda's got the photographic one. She says.
It's
I'll buy it. The winner.
This is for you, Jay, and then no, this is not the photographic plate. This is for you to eat from.
You need to.
Right here,
We need forks.
right there on the right, in the glass.
Let's start with the turnips because I've never really eaten turnips before.
God, they're a mainstay now.
They're pretty good.
I love turnips.
Mashed turnips with butter, cabbage.
These are good. I mean, they smell. They taste like that, like lazer and like cumin.
I'll be a little careful with it if you got a big piece of rosemary.
Yeah, be careful.
But man, it tastes good. I like it.
All right. Right behind you, Jen.
Okay, we're gonna.
Is that okay for light?
Mm-hmm.
It tastes good.
Perfect.
Get a little beer.
Out to us while we.
That'd be nice.
We hate leaving you.
I'll sit up here.
Oh. Nah.
Mm.
I can just stand on the camera and eat some more. Just chew and chew and chew.
I might want a teeny bit more beer.
Ham
myself.
with pineapple,
I really need it.
bacon wrapped. Ooh, ah. Yeah,
Ham
you
with
guys are
something out of your
amazing,
way.
and your ideas are amazing.
10 seconds.
Let's see what people think of these Roman recipes. They're very simple, but I think that homemade, Roman pesto
Wow.
is really lovely. The turnips
The
and those mushrooms are as amazing as
the mushrooms are interesting because I
I love that.
actually
They're
I do
great.
like them, but I actually like them better with the red wine when you made them before. I like them a lot now, but the sweetness of that Moscato is very interesting
Did you want me to turn
with
off
the
the burner?
earthiness.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Or we could just leave it. But the earthiness of the mushrooms and the sweetness is
Whole fish
It's
is
really
a
interesting.
favorite. It's an absolute favorite of mine.
the fish is stellar.
I said I think it's a little overcooked. I don't think I quite.
Oh,
I love it.
I think it's really nice.
Mm.
I think it goes well with the
Fish is difficult to know when to stop.
And the problem was
It takes practice.
Well, I didn't set an alarm to begin with either, so it was like I didn't even know how long it had been in.
well. And everybody's ovens are different,
But the flavors,
and especially ovens like this, like that are.
the flavors with the
You have
the bacon and
You have
all
an
that
electric
really
oven,
lovely.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, electric ovens are all different. That's the tricky part.
Oh,
Ours,
Yeah, our turkey cooked in like no time this year.
when Jen just did the turkey the other day, it was done. We knew from the way it smelled it was done
Yeah.
well before the timer went off for the size that it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it was still just a teeny bit over. It's not thankfully we could tell by the smell. We were like, oh, we got to pull that out and check on it, and then we saw it was done. But it had probably been done for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just we're not used to that heat on those older style ovens.
Yeah.
But man, I like this fish though, and I like it with the bacon.
The turnips are so my style. They're
Yeah, they're quite savory. They're lovely.
They really are.
I really like them. I really like the. And I really like the mushrooms. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
to me, actually having those mushrooms, having the that beautiful earthy flavor of the mushrooms, compounded with the sweetness of a sweet wine.
I didn't mean to
Oh,
complain. I think I'm going to eat everything, just for me.
I don't know that I am. I mean, we've had a
Because
lot
for
of
me,
food.
that-
a lot of food.
We've had a lot of food today. If I don't finish eating all this,
For me,
fish,
that
then I won't.
sweetness is just a little overpowering.
Make a plate to go.
We've already established
as long
that
as we
Roman
taste
stuff,
everything, then-
sweet stuff.
As long as we get a chance to taste everything, I think we're fine.
Sai, you have homemade ginger beer? That's awesome. Yeah, I've done ginger kolsch.
I really like the turnips too.
And the bacon with the savory.
Yeah. The bacon.
Actually goes
Bacon.
the bacon.
The bacon.
Bacon. Not sure Morningstar would appreciate that.
Sorry.
Bacon.
Hey, Morningstar should appreciate the fact that I really like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was definitely a skeptic.
We're saying it tastes good.
Definitely a
Bacon.
skeptic because I am a big fan of real bacon. Just gonna say.
This stuff, definitely almost guilt-free. You could eat an entire package of that and still be okay.
Yeah, but I'm okay with my guilt. Once in a
I'm
while.
not okay eating an entire package of real bacon.
No,
Just-
that would be pretty.
Yeah.
Raw, like she eats it. There was no shame intended there.
Where's the bell?
Only admiration.
Shame! Shame! Shame!
Only admiration. Yeah. I would have to make a package to go.
Bucelatum a la cold fire.
How does that taste?
Not good.
No.
No.
I believe we've just
I think it's
established
hot.
that you don't like it. Period.
No. I think it's the
I like the cold fire. It's just
No.
No, I mean I think we've established you don't like
the
the
Bucelatum
Bucelatum.
is
It's super salty, so once you actually soak it, then it becomes super salty. And then and there may be some things out there
Well-
like dark malt that don't necessarily go well with salty. We have another drink to sample. as
We
our
do.
dessert.
Yep.
And
Okay, I'll stop this.
I would like to eat all of my plate. Finish my plate, but I don't think I'm gonna.
Like to eat,
Like to eat the plate too.
I don't think they. I think they have a limited number of plates here.
not only do you have to eat the food, you better eat that plate.
No, but you have a limited number of plates. You really want her to do that?
It's okay, it all comes out in the end.
I am putting mine in.
We just put it back
We're gonna-
together.
We're gonna take a to-go container, and that's
Yeah,
because I'm not gonna be able to eat more than this.
I agree. We're gonna have to do a to-go container.
This has been a lovely Roman feast.
Oh
you
God,
know,
it's
but
wonderful.
it's like a Thanksgiving dinner. It just keeps coming and coming, coming.
Oh yeah.
And always coming and going and coming and going and going and coming and never on time.
That might be something else.
Oh
that
no,
was,
it was always
that was Blazing Saddles.
It was
I
always
know.
too soon.
Mhm.
I know.
Coming and going and coming and always too soon.
Mhm.
I think I'm stuffed.
Okay.
I am.
Definitely stuffed.
Seriously, we're gonna take some of this home, but you're gonna have but we're gonna leave most of this with you.
Well, that's okay. I can use salmon.
Good.
I
I
can't
can use
imagine
salmon
anyone
in
who
a
couldn't.
variety of ways.
I can't
And the
imagine
nice
anyone
thing
who
about
couldn't.
this salmon is that it's actually pretty mildly spiced
Mhm.
before you add anything to it.
Mhm.
There's not really a lot, so you could do whatever you wanted to it, and it would still.
whatever I wanted to it.
Yeah.
It might actually take me to court if that happens.
Well, I didn't even know if I want to imagine.
I'm gonna take a step
I'm
back.
gonna be
now.
over here with the producer.
Yeah, can someone book me a flight?
Were we talking about fetish videos?
You're
Work
not gonna need
it!
a flight
Work
ticket.
it! Yes! Oh God, you look good.
No, X Fierce. X Fierce.
Give me the fierce tiger pose.
I'm gonna eat you up.
Every time anybody
I'm gonna
This
have
is like a model
serious
thing.
problem
I
here.
think immediately of Zoolander, and I just think of like some of the
God.
ridiculous stuff that they have him do, and it's just like
Or Austin Powers.
Okay, everybody, give the camera your best blue steel. I'm the only one doing it.
oh, I did it.
And I want to see your best blue steel then. that's not blue steel.
Oh yes, it is. It's exactly what he's doing.
Size cycles through both worlds. A few weeks in keto land, a few weeks in don't care makes for a decent maintenance diet. You mean you're balanced? It's balance is good.
Cookies, waffles, cake, beer, chips.
Oh,
I believe we had. I
Oh,
believe. I believe when I
chips.
was
You're not gonna get any.
I had a
You're
few-
not
I
gonna
had a
get
few
any
meals that were just basically chips, maybe an egg, and chips.
You're not gonna get any no from him.
no, not with that.
Sorry, so I apologize for the high pitched
Wait.
noise.
Whose is this? Do you
Mine.
Any yours?
I need to clear out one of my many glasses.
That's my other glass. I have two.
I washed this one.
Hey, that's too sweet. Can you wash it again?
Well, I'm washing it so that somebody can use it.
Then Jen can use it.
I'll rinse this one so I can use this one. That's enough for me. I've been to far too many tasting events to require
Would you like to pour?
full. Yes, let's make sure that we all get a decent amount of this,
Have no one to start.
I can
and
pour.
most of it
Three.
for.
Wait, there's missing a glass. There's a missing glass. Unless is this yours?
That one's mine.
Okay. I'm lost about the producer. Oh, I thought you left me.
Are you ready?
Duchess
The Bourgogne.
de Bourgogne. I always mess up the name. I call it Duchess de Bourgogne.
Not too bad.
This is quite possibly the best Flemish. Is it a Flemish red or is it just a Flemish ale?
Flemish red.
This is quite possibly the best Flemish red ever made. Ever. I'm gonna
pour it here so I know. That's okay. I want to make sure that
Sure, you get some too.
that everybody gets
Yeah.
enough.
I'm really super sensitive
To what?
I am super sensitive to blemishes.
To the lactobacillus.
To the actual amount of woo, and that's my reaction every time.
I smell that.
Mhm. It's to the lactobacillus.
To me, this is nothing but straight vinegar.
Oh.
This reaches up and it grabs my brain and pulls it through my nostrils.
Makes you think it's vinegar.
But our producer thinks it's absolutely
I love it.
fantastic.
I love it. It's just one of the best beers I've ever had in my life.
I like it too.
It's savory.
Mhm.
I think it has a
So
nice mix of.
the nose definitely. So
I can't really.
the process of actually creating this beer creates that super vinegary or sour milk nose for some people. But the flavor itself, like most Flanders Reds
A
or
little bit on the
any
sweet side.
of the darker
Pretty.
any of the darker sours like an Ode Bruin or anything like that, it has this really strong red fruit sort of flavor to it.
I would say like currants and cherries.
Yep.
Have you ever gotten pomegranate off a Flemish?
Sure.
I've heard people describe pomegranate.
This one is mostly cherry to me, but and
I've got a little
with
pomegranate.
some undernotes of like
Berry almost.
yeah berry and maybe even a little bit of grapefruit, but because it's very tart. This is one of the tartar of the Flanders Red.
That's true.
I think I get pomegranate off of the Monk's Cafe Flanders Red for sure.
Now I can drink the Monk's Cafe. I don't. Maybe it's a difference in strength.
It's
or
no, it's
different
just
or-
not quite as tart.
Yeah.
Duchess to me is I do not doubt the quality.
I
There is-
really
yeah.
love the Petrus as well. I almost got the Petrus as well for us.
The quality of the Duchess is fantastic. The strength of it. I think I need to. I would have to have it. I don't even know what I would pair it with. A 70% cocoa bar, maybe.
Oh, like a dark chocolate.
Like
that
a
would work.
super dark, bitter chocolate. Then
That would totally work. Excuse me.
I taste it, and I mean,
Or
I get
like-
vinegar. I get
Toasted blackened pecans or almonds.
oh yes, nice, like maybe a honey toasted or bitter toast, maybe even hopped hazelnuts. Have you guys tried those yet?
No,
Hopped
hazelnuts.
hazelnuts.
That's a thing.
It is. It is. I had those last year. They're
Well, look at the
They're really
color of this
interesting.
gorgeous thing. It's
the color.
like
It's so
ruby red. It is.
it's dark and
Almost no beer is actually this color.
it is. It's very beautiful.
It's like the color of whiskey through the light.
No, it's not the color of whiskey.
Well,
I think
it's
with
the
these
more the
beers,
color of like
You have to kind of think of them like you would
claret
think of a
red
brandy,
wine. Yeah,
And
it is the
drink
color
them.
of a brandy. Yeah.
and drink them like you drink a brandy. You don't knock this down like a lager.
no, absolutely not.
But they're mostly between 7.5 and they're mostly around 7.5%. So it's not like you can't have a full glass of them. It's just that you want to drink it slowly because it's so tart.
Mm-hmm. It really affects your tongue in a really lovely savory way. I almost get grape.
Belgians are a dying breed.
Let's see that.
Ooh, Jennifer said pair it with a creme brulee. That is actually
Creme brulee,
an amazing
yeah.
idea. Maybe a chocolate creme brulee. You know,
Creme
if
brulee
you speak my language.
with caramel and maybe a little more caramel. A lot of caramel because I like creme brulee with caramel.
Oh.
So what you basically want me to do is make a traditional vanilla creme brulee, swirl a pinwheel of caramel into it,
Mm-hmm.
and then torch the top.
That's
Does anybody
right.
not
There you go.
want you to do that? I mean, I'm just gonna ask really quick.
Show
of
of
hands.
anybody
Would
who would
anybody not like
want to do
that?
Okay,
No,
future
nobody
episode.
nobody does it. It's
Once, twice, Bueller?
Bueller.
It's not-
I don't hear Ramsey in here throwing a tantrum.
Even Ramsey would want that.
Even Ramsey would want that.
I just don't want him here, so he doesn't get any.
It's one of my favorite beers of all time. But when you're drinking it, you gotta think of it like
Yeah.
a brandy.
But it's almost
You don't
like
have to
drinking a sparkling wine too. You like
I
there's
kinda
something
like
that
Ramsey, to be honest.
tingles at your tongue.
I like the way he
Almost
deals
like
with
Yeah.
kids.
You know, I like it when he's
Oh,
cooking
I thought you
and
were
not
talking about
talking.
I thought you were talking about a different Ramsey.
Gordon
Oh,
Ramsay.
really? No, I was talking about Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, Gordon Ramsay, I would totally. I mean, he'd hate any food that I made for him because I'm not a.
No,
Chef,
but the thing
but-
is, he's not that hard on people who are not chefs.
Well, yeah, he probably wouldn't. Then I don't care. But I
Oh,
mean, like,
kick my
I'd certainly be happy to cook for him anytime.
You have,
I thought you were
I
talking about a
wouldn't- no,
different
no.
Ramsay.
No,
you don't want anything. No, you.
I wouldn't cook. I would not cook for Gordon Ramsay. Absolutely not.
Well, I wouldn't either.
No.
But I like to
I
see
would.
him. I like
If
to
he
see him
needed
in
to
like.
eat.
I like to see him
I
in
wouldn't
like.
do it in a professional setting because I'm not going to cook in a kitchen. But
I like to see him in like MasterChef Junior and stuff like that. For the kids, he's always very nice.
I like to see him cooking. I like to see him cooking and not talking.
I'd be
That's fine.
yeah, I'd be happy to cook for him if
Okay,
it was
cook.
just like in my home.
Oh no, I wouldn't want
He does strike me as judgy.
it. He
No,
is.
I don't think so though. I think that he's very polite. It's just that when you turn, it seems like when you turn things over
Well, you.
and he's trying to fix things, like he's in charge, he goes into full chef mode, and that's when you're gonna get yelled at or judgy
Well, it's
or
a.
whatever.
I mean,
And
it's
I
a
think that
cultural
that's
thing.
a-
I think
you
to
know,
a certain extent, it's the culture that he was
it's the
that he was brought up to.
It's
cook
the,
in,
it's
and
the, it's
so-
the culture of traditional chef,
Yeah.
techniques. You know, you don't.
Anyway, that doesn't matter. That's a
But
huge
we're not
segue.
saying anything against
That's-
Gordon
well,
Ramsay.
I'm not.
No, Gordon Ramsay can cook. He can cook. He is.
And I
he
totally
has
cook for him.
skills.
I mean, I don't know if he'd like it, but I would totally do
I
it.
actually think he's also a very good teacher if if you just like sit back and just watch him
Mhm.
show you how to do something. Like he showed me.
Yeah, if he's
like,
just showing.
like sometimes when he
That's
says
fine.
like I'm gonna show you how to break down this chicken. Ready, 1, 2, 3, 4. And he does it in like 2 seconds. I'm like, whoa! Can I back
Can you do
that
that
up?
again slower?
I need to back that up and play it slowly. Anyway, this was an amazing feast. The Roman feast.
The Roman feast was amazing. There's so much leftovers, and we actually had some amazing beer to go with it. Just even though
Oh, yeah.
Rome wasn't all about the beer.
And some beer.
Beer,
And some wine.
That conditum was fantastic.
Conditum paradoxum. Doesn't that mean like a paradoxical thing?
Does it?
What
I don't
how
know.
would that mean? Does anybody know Latin? Anybody want to tell me what
No.
conditum paradoxum is?
I know.
Well,
No,
conditum I believe, where's my phone? It's right around there. I can find my my recipe book because it did translate it. Because I'm pretty sure conditum is something like it is a term for an aperitif or a sweet drink that would precede dinner.
Open Google Translate.
It's translated as fine spiced wine here, but paradoxum in this case, I think, would mean a blend of two things,
Yeah.
or like between two things, because it's a blend of honey and.
Blend of honey and wine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
no.
spiced wine.
But I'm going to go ahead and put it in a translator because I.
Yeah, conditum.
I know. I'm aware that I typoed. I hate conditum. Created a paradox, apparently.
Created a paradox is what it means.
So
But
apparently,
conditum, weirdly enough, by
you
itself
created a paradox, Amy. You created a paradox, Francesca. We're never gonna get out of it.
That's a shame, because that's really not where we need to be in
The Twilight
the
Kitchen.
very end of 2017. I mean, this is not really a good time to
You
be making
created
paradoxes.
we created a paradox, and we all drank it.
Oh, God.
We're gonna be in trouble, guys. So you know,
Well,
2018 is gonna.
we should
or
probably
20
record the end of this.
Yeah,
Yep.
so we can relax.
Yeah.
That would be great, and then I can help you clean up, and then we can head on.
We can relax for a second and then clean up the kitchen, and then
Why don't you come on up here?
Rome wasn't built in a day. Okay.
Ready?
Yes. Well, guys, Rome was not built in a day, but all roads lead to this kitchen in which we have made some lovely Roman food for you, and we've had some lovely drinks, and we've shared some wonderful friendship.
absolutely. I always love coming over.
This was a really good meal, and I have learned a lot of things, a lot of which I will be using again.
Well, exactly. I mean, this is why I came to want to do these recipes, to want to do this kind of exploration of recipes in the first place, was just playing with these recipes and finding out, not only kind of learning about yourself as a chef, but also finding out these very, very basic ideas that have been around for thousands and thousands of years about cooking.
It's so eye-opening. It's fascinating. It's really cool.
Absolutely. And even though Rome did not have potatoes, tomatoes, or pasta or corn, man, there are so many things that they gained from other cultures and then passed on to us that we just keep on using day after day.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what recipe you're trying, it's very likely that a little bit of it is going to be from Rome. You guys have a great night and have a great dinner.
Wale.
Perfect.
That's Spumante is fantastic.
Oh, please. All the wine is yours if you want it.
All right. Well, my feeling is sit down for a second
Yes.
and be social, and then come
And then
back
I'll
and
help
clean
you.
up the kitchen.
And I'll help you clean up, and we'll take.
Yeah, probably. Oh yeah. Good. So we love you all. Thank you
Thank
so
you guys.
much. Thank you
For those
so
of you
much
that
for
haven't
watching.
bet
and
yet, thank you for
Cheers,
showing up.
guys.
Thanks,
cheers.
Sai. Have a good night.